Aboard, everybody. Thanks for staying on through the end of the Fall Guy Marathon here on the Superstation. It's time for What's on Joe Mind. You can see we've got the full house tonight, plus a special guest, and we'll get to intros in just a moment. But stay with us through our kick-ass opening sequence. We'll be right back. Evening, everybody. Welcome. It's Tuesday night. It's 9:05 p.m. or thereabouts. Welcome to the What's on Joe Mind TeamStream. We're a fan cast about the world of G.I. Joe. I'm your host, Mike Irizarry. How's everybody doing?
Ooh.
Yeah,
Fabulous. Fabulous.
That was there was a serious leap of faith there because I clicked the button to start the theme song and nothing happened on this end. So it was like, oh, I hope it went. Otherwise, I'm going to have to resist that urge to scratch my nose for just a few more seconds. But yeah, it's been that kind of night here at the old What's on Joe Mind compound where everything technology based is just inching along. So I apologize for our slightly late start tonight.
We're lit by candles and powered by hamster wheels.
Right. I had to change the hamsters and the wheels. But here, joining me in the top row, he's the former head of marketing for the G.I. Joe brand at Hasbro, the current operation manager of Oliver's. Show Mark Weber.
Right? Hey, and this is where the fans can help us. We help us help you. Find that coffee link. You can find it in your heart. We'll play some Sarah McLachlan. You too can donate and help us get a new floppy drive.
Right.
Let me tell you, we've got Lotus 1 and 2. We'd love to upgrade to Lotus 3. And with your fine support, I just know we're going to get there.
We did add a new swear jarrier to the list this week. So we're up to an exceptional 18. So you'll see all the names. And I finally noticed that I did not have Doug Dello, who's perhaps been like the second or third longest running consecutive swear jarrier. I didn't have him in the ending sequence.
Oh.
For like 6 months. The man made our Christmas card, and I didn't have him in the closing credits. So I rectified that. Sorry about that, Doug, but nobody said anything or noticed or told me. So this is what happens.
Yeah, and tell your lawyer to back off.
Right. But again, with your donations, we can upgrade to having our own hamster farm, so we don't have to outsource that sort of thing.
That's good.
I upgraded kids in my basement like 4 years ago, right pre-pandemic, so it worked out great.
some Dickensian urchins.
Yeah,
right. Because nobody's looking for them during the pandemic, right?
Wow. Assume they were victims of COVID.
Just down there,
waifs.
Yeah. Down there, rowing oars,
riding bikes, saving me money on my gas and electric bills.
All right. Do you have a big guy beating out a tempo on the drum?
Of course I do. Although it was tough though, because at first I had to balance the cost of all the oil that you had to slather him in.
Yeah, of course.
That was eating into my profit by having the kids run my electricity. But we figured it out. We ironed it out.
Right.
You just rub them with old French fry cartons, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
For a while, that was Joe. That's how he got that weight off. But in the bottom row, he is suddenly a man with a show, as this is Rack Time Live. Rack Time Rob.
Hello. Ha-ha. That was weird.
I'll see that stack and I'll raise you an X-Men red.
All right, you're out.
Anybody want? Oh,
your fingers are about to. Oh, see, that's what happens. That's what happens when you bring up. That's what should happen when you mentioned the Krakoa era.
Krakoa nonsense.
Krakoa.
Man, I'm telling you, tough room.
What's that? Krakatoa?
Tough room, Honcho.
Oh no! Now here's Araco, and here's an entire cast full of people no one cares about,
Right.
no one's gonna care about, and it's just like when Hickman ran the Avengers, introducing giant cast of characters that no one cared about or no one's going to care about.
Yeah.
Fool me twice.
I just figured it was filling the Slaughters Marauders barbecue role on the show. Here's something Mark has that no one wants. Hey,
Is that the
cheapest
new
big
thing you
spender-
have that no one wants to take the place of barbecue?
Cheapest big spender notes that we'll need those donations to pay our lawyers to keep McDonald's off our back about chicken nuggets copyrights. McDonald's doesn't own the copyrights to chicken nuggets. They own the copyright to chicken McNuggets. And we don't, there's nothing about what we do here that's McNuggets. It's C-Nugs.
Do they own the trademark to the 3 shapes all of their nuggets come in?
There's 4 shapes.
Oh, there's 4?
Yes, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do. But we here at McDowell's, we only have one shaped nugget. You see, it's different.
Wait,
It's
They
a
have the
blob.
boot.
It's
The
a
boot?
it's a blob here at McDowell's.
They have a boot. They have a slab. They have a teardrop. What's the 4th one?
There's
The teardrop was when Grimace murdered a man in prison.
right. Right. That was the tattoo that he had put under his eye.
Yeah.
But and finally, in the bottom row, our special guest tonight, a comic book expert from a different program, from the Joe on Joe podcast, joining us once again. Our good friend Joe Slepsky is on the program.
Hey,
Give it
everybody.
up for Joe Slepsky.
Thanks for having me on. It's my honor. I love it.
But
Everybody knows when Joe's on the program, it's about to get extreme.
Extreme. It's also about to get it'll also get derailed about 18 times before the end of the show.
right. I mean, it took us 5 minutes to get you an intro because you talked before I got to you. I mean, that right there, that's kind of the Joe Slepsky experience in a nutshell.
I had so much to say when you guys mentioned the Fall Guy, though.
Oh man,
I'm an
Heather
old school
Thomas.
Colt Seaver guy. Old school Colt Seaver guy.
I was more of a Heather Thomas guy myself. But
Well,
that's okay.
there
If
you
he
go.
ain't singing the theme song, he ain't nothing.
If they don't have Ryan Gosling singing the theme song for that movie, it's just like the Romnibus. Fire those people.
The Romnibus. That is, for the record, not an omnibus for Mitt Romney. No, an omnibus for Rom Space Knight. Romnibus. Yeah, Dustin Jeffrey says 18 derailments, challenge accepted.
I mean,
Sounds like a light night for us, frankly.
18 derailments, you can just call us Amtrak.
Amtrak learned about derailing from What's on Joe Mind. That's what I'm saying.
didn't we ban Biff McConkey like 18 times a couple shows ago?
7.
Something like that.
Pretty good.
I'm not keeping track of records. I don't want have something in my mind that I have to try and beat. Right. I just want to let it happen naturally as the guy with the button. So if you guys want to keep track of that, fine. Just know that I will not officially recognize any such record because we need to keep something on this show pure. Something unsullied.
Not me.
Plus, he's all hopped up on those PEDs anyway. So come on now.
Right. He's jacked, that Biff McConkey donk. He's
He's been carrying Disneyland around on his back for 20 years. So
right. I'm making sure I got all my buttons in the right place because it's been that kind of night.
dude, the fans know. Dustin. Oh, there's Phil. Dustin was before Phil.
Yeah, he's around.
7 is the record.
Okay.
It's right up there with those iconic numbers, 61, 7, 715,
7. Yeah, that's right there.
16.
Truly the impossible dream. 7.
9 more
7.
Phil tie Ric Flair.
7 times getting kicked off our 2-bit slime show. That's what it is.
Not bad.
That's what we want. That's what we want to encourage. What's the record for number of Mr. Sacco interruptions? How about that? Do we have a number on that one?
And go.
Meow. 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 Meow.
I
That is
promise.
that's the kind of video that you can't send across state lines.
I promised our friends at Roma Collectibles that I would work that into every episode going forward. So that's you want to get mad at somebody about Mr. Sacco, that's where you go. That's where you go.
And 5 minutes later, that cat was back for more.
Yeah, make no mistake. His favorite thing in the world is for me to foot wrestle with him. He gets his back claws going into the sole of my shoe, and we just wrestle there. That's what we do. It's our
He did not leave Mike alone the entire weekend.
it's our Festivus feats of strength. But let's go ahead. Let's roll into community calendar because we got a lot going on tonight. Community calendar. Community calendar. Again, that new intro brought to you by Geek Productions, the new animation stable for What's on Joe Mind. Joe hasn't been watching. He's genuinely amused by this stuff.
It's all new to me. It's all new to me.
Like last week, we had lunch with Bruno Bianchi and Jean Chalapin.
Yeah, long time guest host, first time listener.
The genius Bruno Bianchi, the man behind quality episodes of Mask, Bruno Bianchi. Anyways, first up on the old community calendar, we got one coming up this Saturday. Is it Saturday the 17th? Sure.
Yeah.
That's at West End Plaza Events at Salisbury, North Carolina from 9 to 4. We've got a show from Inside Pitch Promotions. They have a second show coming up just a few weeks later, March 9th and 10th at the Kerr Scott Building in Rolla. Saturday 9 to 4, Sunday 10 to 4, $5 for a single day and $8 for the full weekend. It's a bargain at twice the price. They run shows all year long. There's free parking at all of them. They made a note to mention that on their website, which makes me think that they're listening. You can get all the info at InsidePitchPromo.com. InsidePitchPromo.com.
$5 and $8 admission. There's no excuse not to go to this.
Right?
When was the last time you had a show that was literally under $10?
I don't know. I mean, you could steal $5 from your kid and go, frankly.
Absolutely. Ticket from the food fund from those kids in my basement.
Right?
Right.
I mean, Joe, your dogs are walking around with about $10 and spending money.
My dogs got wham, baby. They got wham all
take it right from that.
Wrapped up in their collars. Yeah.
Switch the kids in the basement to Krusty brand imitation gruel.
You'd save even more.
4 out of 5 orphans can't tell the difference.
I don't know how you've gotten this far without Krusty brand imitation gruel, frankly. David Warren Hernandez says that Sox needs to get a taste of kitty on kitty tank warfare in a Meowler tank. Don't think I haven't started accumulating boxes. That's all I'm saying. He's a big fella, so it's gonna be
big boxes.
We're gonna have to find some sturdy cardboard. But if that happens,
may have to use the box from the his tank.
Right. It may be. That would mean that there would be room in the back for a second cat. So maybe that's the way we need to steer the folks.
Here comes Dr. Socks and the Catriot Grizzly. Oh no!
The Patriot Kitty.
It's twice the size.
I kind of like the Patriot Kitty. That's the kind of give him a Wild Bill hat, and
That's right. That came with Wild Bill, didn't it?
Or I don't know if it came with him, but he drove it.
Oh,
yeah.
Sure.
I didn't. I never had the Patriot Grizzly. I do have a couple of versions of the Night Attack Chopper.
I had that. It's actually a fun toy.
it's a big tank. I
Yeah.
dug it. But yeah, Wild Bill, the helicopter pilot. He can fly planes too. He drives the tank. Whatever.
You throw in Steeler and Cover Girl, and
The Night Attack Chopper is a fun toy as well. I actually had them on my wedding registry. The green one and the tan one, both on the wedding registry.
That'd
And
be
they
awesome.
they
If we
were
got like
both
5.
they were both purchased
Amazing.
sitting on the gift table at the wedding. And I was like, well, just goes to show you I can't be trusted with that little scanner gun from Target. Because if you give it to me for 10 seconds, I'm going to scan 2 things and they're both going to show up because they're awesome.
Yeah. I remember it took me forever to find the crimson version of it. Right. I would just go into Toys R Us knowing it wouldn't be there. Right. Like, let's go look for where it won't be. And I think I eventually did an eBay breakdown on it because I never saw it in the wild, not once.
I have to admit, I didn't care for it that much. I didn't bother.
Mm.
I was very selective through the Valor versus Venom era. Yeah, Figure 6-pack asking us about where's the what about the Crimson Attack? Never bothered.
I got it. It hurt, as I recall. It wasn't the worst helicopter I ever bought on eBay, though.
I did used to take the Night Attack chopper. I did used to chase the cat with it.
Oh yeah.
You shoot the little missiles. Stinky was not a fan of the Night Attack chopper.
Wait, Stinky was a cat?
Stinky was a cat, one of the cats I had when I was married, yes.
I thought Stinky was a sister.
Stinky
Named
is
after
a
the
sister. But Stinky the cat was named after our sister Stinky.
Oh, okay.
Sweet cat too. Great cat. All black.
So you chased her with a Night Attack chopper.
Right. She was huge. Like there was Stinky. She was huge. She was a house panther. But absolutely the sweetest animal I've ever shared space with. She was great. And I shot plastic missiles at her.
All right.
I mean, never like at her face or anything. It was always like kind of towards her back feet and stuff. So she knew she wasn't going to get hurt. But...
I will remember you. Da-da-da-da.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're the face of animal abuse, Mike. For only $5 a month, you can rescue this enormous cat from the claws of Mike Irizarry.
Every morning I woke up.
looking cat.
Every morning I woke up with this giant black cat sleeping on my head. So no, I don't think she cared much. I think she was okay.
Spoiler: some people think she's still there. Right?
It's possible. Like that was the funny part
nice
of it.
Shock up there, but yeah.
Because she was a big girl. But anyhow, next up, New Jersey Collecticon happening on March 2nd and 3rd. That is, of course, in the Holiday Inn Cherry Hill in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Admission and information can be found at histank.com or at New Jersey Collectors Con on Facebook. They've got a number of guests, including our good friend, former host, and author of The Art of G.I. Joe, Carson Metaxas. You can see him posing with his 55-pound book there. Mm-hmm. Joe, you got that book, right?
Yeah, man, it is enormous. I weighed it. It is 19 pounds, 18 or 19 pounds. It's awesome. Like, I recommend anyone watching this should get it, and you can get it pretty cheap, especially for the quality of the product, man. It's awesome.
Absolutely. If you're interested in the book, be sure to head over to 3djoes.com. They're going to have that available. He has them in hand, so you order it and he'll ship it on out to you. Again, it has its own pallet. It's a freight shipping.
Yeah, it really is.
The book is 410 pounds.
We were talking about earlier before the show, we were talking like Marvel omnibuses and how hard those are to read. Comic book omnibuses, man. This is absolutely impossible to read. That's not sitting on a table, but it's so worth it. And it's really deep. It's got great stuff. And you just to see the quality of that artwork at that high resolution, it's really, really great. And to see it the way it was meant, which is printed on a piece of paper, which reflects light differently than you see it if you're watching it like on a computer screen. There's something to that that I think makes everything pop a little bit more too. But yeah, they've got some great posters.
Brian Fabian, welcome to the show. Says, hey everyone, I was at the Star Wars G.I. Joe Mini Collector Con in Orlando, Florida this past Sunday. Wore my What's on Joe Mine t-shirt.
That's right. Outstanding work.
Just letting Mike, I was promoting the damn show. It's plugging the damn show. It's Hashtag plug the damn show. I think I
Either
have it
way,
down
he
for
was
that.
doing it.
So Brian, as a
But,
thank you, Mike wanted to correct you.
Right.
So
That's
you're
what we do
welcome.
here.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. There we go. There it is.
There we go.
I don't even have to make it up. We've got it ready to go. See? Look, man, if I want to be remembered for one thing, I've come to the grips with the fact that it's probably going to be that hashtag. Like that's going to be it at the end of the day.
It's good.
100 years from now, someone will be using "plug the damn show" in a hashtag, and that's my only contribution to the world as we know it.
Yeah.
That was also thick in the crotch.
Real quick, Diana Davis, you're right. Carson's book would make a great Valentine's gift. And then it could be used. It'll be like Exhibit A when they make the documentary about how you murdered your spouse because it crushed them.
Right.
Like
It's not
like if we find it suspicious that you bring in this 20-pound book into your home days before your wife was found completely unresponsive beneath it.
that's not really a murder charge, though. It's more of a manslaughter too.
Yeah,
That's accidental.
Exactly.
It's accidental.
I like the tagline there. Makes a great gift, makes a better murder weapon. Yeah.
This is why Mike didn't do ad copy for Carson.
Right.
He does have that proud Papa glow going in this photo, though, right?
Right. Cheapest Big Spender asks, is Carson smiling because of the book or because he didn't pull any muscles lifting it? I'm going to guess because of the book, because he had to have pulled muscles lifting it. That's not an option.
Yeah, lift with the legs, people.
Always.
And he's the next edition is going to have a cover blurb from Drew Peterson. That, by the way, is a funny joke referencing the guy who killed his wife. It was huge in the news like 15 years ago. It was a big deal. So I just want everyone to know that was funny.
Okay. Fair enough. Especially after you explained it in great detail.
That wasn't funny. The explanation was funny.
The best jokes. Brian. The best jokes are no, Drew Peterson, he was that cop who killed his wife and then killed his ex-wife. Okay. You just wait. He'll come visit you one day.
You need the comment from Jake Rose up there, Mike.
Oh, I like where that's going.
This one, Professor Honcho in the living room with the art of G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe clothes.
Never been a professor before. I like that.
Yeah, you had apprehensions about that Honcho nickname when we first started trying to apply it to you. And I dare say it has done more for your marketability than anything else.
I think what I like about it is nobody else really has it, right? It didn't feel like I was taking it from somebody. So, yeah, it definitely grew.
Yeah, no. Didn't steal somebody else's nickname and try to rub it onto you or anything. No.
It's you and the distaff leader of Team America.
Yeah. Well, I hate to be the G.I. Joe podcasting world's version of Nature Boy Buddy Landell, but
Dustin, here's a fourth derailment. There is a long-standing magazine called Honcho.
Dustin Jeffrey, by the way, for in case anyone else is not reading the live comments, that's 3 derailments. Look, these guys all know that I asked our co-hosts before the show. I have one instruction, that if you read the live chat, just give a heads up so I can put it on the screen so that everybody at home can follow along, or that so we can get it read so that the folks who tune in later for the audio only version of the show, that they understand what's going on. And they refuse to do it lately. I don't understand what's going on. I don't know. Cheapest Big Spender. It's not like taking your wife fishing and accidentally shooting her with a spear gun like Cliff Booth. Okay. Right? No, it is not. No.
And then making a Sean Connery like crack saying, I think she got the point.
Oh, boo.
Jesus. Oh, God. Moving on. Hey, Awesome Con's happening in March. That is from the 8th to the 10th at the Walter E. Washington Convention Center in Washington, D.C. You can see our good friend, our co-host Joe Colton. She's going to be a featured guest there. She's not just hanging around. She is a guest of the con. This is a paying gig for Joe Colton. So stop by and say hey. Other guests include Arthur Adams, Hayden Christensen, Rosario Dawson, Tom Kenny, Jeff Loeb, Michael Rosenhub, Tom Welling, Ming Na Wen, The Ritzlock, Wes Whitlock, and many, many more. Tickets and information are at awesome-con.com. Joe, that's a 3,500-mile trip for you. You going to make it?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to hitchhike.
All right.
I'm going to thumb it across the country. And I'll see you there. That's a good lineup, though. Art Adams alone, for real talk. And then Rosario Dawson, awesome. And you're going to have to cast of Smallville. The cast that isn't in a cult.
Well, that's just the ones that I had room to list. There's Awesome Con is a big show.
Is the cult girl there?
No,
maybe.
What's her name?
No, she's out of jail now.
Chloe.
Oh,
She's
that's
out of jail
right.
now.
Man, I hated her on that show. Oh man.
I disagree. She was my favorite. I really liked her.
Really? You like those
Yeah.
little chipmunk teeth?
I thought she was great. And then it was such a disappointment when I moved to Los Angeles and I meet people who put me like 1 degree away from her, and she's in a sex cult, but now I'm married.
Oh.
Right.
I was like, really? You know, and she's in a wait, I'm married.
Craig Cohan asked, should we flood Joe Colton with mango habanero stuff to sign? That's fine. Look, you're paying to get in.
Yeah.
If you hand Joe Colton a mango, I think she's obligated to sign it.
Yeah. She's only there for one reason, and that's to meet Wes Whitlock. She thinks he's dreamy.
Who's Wes Whitlock? Is he a wrestler?
That is Joe Colton's husband. Yes.
Oh. I'm a dope.
Also a cosplayer and
yeah.
former Eastern Wrestling Alliance heavyweight champion Wes Mercer.
That's right.
Really? Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen him online. Didn't know the name.
But Mike won't call him by his ring name because he hates Mercer.
No, I think the wrist lock Wes Whitlock is kind of like the honcho. Like that's the name I gave him, and there's some alliteration there. It rolls easily. It's hard to say, and I've worked hard for it. Is how I'll leave it.
It works.
Dustin Jeffrey says, "Remember, no hugs from the wrist lock." You're going to do better trying to hug the wrist lock than you are trying to hug Joe Colton. My friend Jamie used to be addicted to Smallville, and he used to say that his rationale was, I need to live in a place where Chloe is the average looking girl. And there's something to be said for that, right? I think all of us kind of long to live in that
pretty
place.
Good time to live in, yeah.
Right. That's all right.
I love that show, man. I watched every episode. I thought it was great. About halfway through, they jumped the shark, but I still watched it.
I like that episode where Superman threw that bad guy a long way. That was awesome.
I have to admit, Joe, I only liked it as it was coming down towards the end.
Yeah.
I couldn't handle it at the beginning. It was so much drama, not nearly enough actual Superman.
Oh, it's great.
But once they got to the end and they were like, well, we were drinking a lot and we barely had enough time to put together a full 45-minute episode. Those are the ones I liked better.
Yeah. Well, yeah. One of my favorite things was in the very last episode because they said, no flights, no tights. So they weren't going to put him in the thing. But in the last episode, they just briefly showed him with the shirt on. But he was using Tom Welling's outfit from the movie, but he couldn't fit in Tom Welling's outfit from the movie. So if you look really close, you could tell it kind of taped to his body. He's not actually wearing it. Like it's under a jacket or shirt or something, obviously. But even if you look closer, it's not around his neck by any stretch of the image. Because they didn't have the money to build a new suit for a cameo.
Right.
Yeah.
Jeff Butler says that Smallville walked so Arrow, Stargirl, and the rest of the CW DC shows could run. I dare say that at full seasons, Smallville did a little bit more than walk. 10 seasons is a long time. Yeah. 10 seasons is an insanely successful television program, regardless of what you think about it creatively.
Yes, Brandon Ruth's suit. Sorry if I misspoke that. Yeah, Brandon Ruth's suit from Superman Returns.
Yeah, Joe, get it right.
Hey, what are you going to do?
Brandon Ruth will not be at Awesome Con.
He is not. No,
I like him, man. I've always liked him as He was good Superman. The movie was bad, but he was good.
Yeah, it wasn't his
He was
fault.
also a good Atom.
He was a very good Atom. Yeah, he was a good. The movie was bad. Again, movie was bad. He was good in that Italian. It's the Italian comic book.
Dylan Dog.
Dylan Dog. That's it. Yeah, he was pretty good in that.
I haven't seen it.
It's a terrible movie.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Yeah, I got nothing. Anyways,
hey man.
So again,
Smallville gave us a ton of people. It gave us Reacher. It gave us Amy Adams. It gave us that Justin Hartley kid. He was the first Arrow.
Now he's
With a
Tracker.
crossbow.
He's Tracker.
Yeah, he's Tracker. Trackers. They gave us both Tracker and Reacher.
And the Manny.
And Grabber. And Toucher.
Premiering after.
And Penetrator.
Penetrator.
That was Mass.
Oh,
that was Mass.
And Decorator.
Oh my God! I'm gonna have to cut. I'm cutting
Smallville
everybody.
gave us everything.
What?
You're out too. All right, I'm back.
Wait, you banned everybody.
If nothing else, I had to ban everybody just to reset things. There. Oh.
You just
Once we get into
banned. Whitney Houston calls that the greatest band of all.
He's drunk with power.
That's right. But we were heading in a direction that we didn't need to head in.
Probably true. Never stopped us before, but whatever.
I'm just saying we did not need to go into any further. No more. Anyhow, next up, same weekend, Toyman show happening in scenic Bridgeton, Missouri, and the scene you get is of the St. Louis airport.
Woohoo!
But that is in the Machinist Hall. 2 stories of toy dealers. They got stuff going back from today all the way back to the 20s and 30s. Toyman is not just a toy show; it's an experience. It's got artists, cosplayers, crafts, guests, and more. That's running from 9 to 2. $5 gets you in the door. $15 gets you in for early bird at 8 o'clock. Parking is free and plentiful. And of course, the opportunity to hug Dave Draper, priceless. Priceless.
Hug again. Go get him.
Dave, I chatted with Dave a little bit a couple weeks ago. He said he hasn't been at the last few. I was like, come on, Dave. Like we're on the show saying that people can go and meet you at Toyman, and it gives them $0 off admission if they hug you. And he's like, well, I don't know if I'm going back now. So if you do see Dave Draper, it's like a rare Pokemon at this point.
Right.
That's like going out and instead of finding all your Weedles, you come across a Snorlax.
He's a Flareon. Who knew?
Yeah, they're pretty common. Every time I level up one of those EVs, they turn into a Flareon. It's terrible. I got so many freaking fire Pokemon. It's so many fire Pokemon. It's the worst. But Cheapest Big Spender says Toyman doesn't size shame like other shows. I can't think of a toy show that is size shamed because that would leave a considerable amount of their clientele on the outside. So
they're out.
Yeah, I don't see that being true. But Toyman, again, it's a great show. We sit and we laugh about it every time. But they do 8 shows a year for a reason. If you're not finding something fun at Toyman, you didn't look around or you didn't go.
Or you're not fun.
Or you're not fun.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible.
Maybe you suck. Yeah.
But Zaymod CGC says, so you get parked on for free. If you're not careful, that can happen.
That just got us banned in the previous section. So let's
they do share a parking lot with
crazy.
They share a parking lot with a Target, so you got to be careful.
Head on a swivel, people.
I don't know if I can go then.
Well, they share a parking lot, not a cosmetic department.
You know what? I'll take one of the really good parking spots in front of Target and not go in there. That'll show them.
Park in one of those cart corrals.
Yeah, Target.
Make yourself a real nuisance.
Target.
Remember, you can get your off-target T-shirt with the honcho's face at our TeePublic store at the swag shop.
Trying to see how long that ban
Link down
is
below.
going. Is that a 4-year ban? How long have I been divorced from Target? Not long enough. Is that first Viper, right?
Yeah, so
Right, and that would have been
20,
yeah. So we're
Three.
probably pushing 3,
Eh,
probably about 3. That was
and growing.
oh. So again, that is March 10th. We got a few weeks out on that one yet. We're community calendars loaded up for March, but not a lot for February. Everybody knows about February shows, get them to me. But and of course, hey, there's the big news from last week. We hate to announce Joe Fest again, but guess who's going to Joe Fest? It's us. That is happening from June 21 to the 23rd, June 21 to the 23. At the Augusta Convention Center in Augusta, Georgia. Guests include me and the Honcho and Rob and maybe some other people. I don't know. We don't pay attention to that sort of thing. Tickets and information at joefestusa.com.
I mean, what's on Joe Mind's going to be there. That's all you need to know. If you're on the
Right.
fence, you need to go.
Right. I mean, I don't think anybody else matters at that point.
Road trip.
We're the first. We're the oldest.
Yeah.
I had a really good meal in Augusta last time I went to Joe Fest. It was a bit of a walk, but I think I went there every meal afterwards. I was like,
It's a bit of a walk. Was it in Atlanta?
It was a bit of a haul. I passed the golf course, but I was so happy at that place. Holy smokes. I don't remember the name of it, but I know where it is. So I'm going to let my feet do the walking.
Genuine question for someone who's never been to the show. What's the best tactic to fly into, or is it go to a neighboring airport and get a rental car, or is it flying straight in? What do most people do? Or you guys might just be driving down from Indianapolis?
Right. We're going to drive in.
Yeah.
Probably rent a car and drive in because my car is old and Rob's car is terrible.
It's just normal people size.
Right. We're going to drive in. I don't know what Mark's doing from Providence there, but
Wait a minute. Road trip, we called it, right? You guys are picking me up.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Get me from work. It's west. It's kind of by New York. Oh, look at this.
I've looked into it, and I'm not sure if it's best to go to Atlanta and drive, or go to I forget what the other one, but there was someplace east, one of the big cities east of it, and drive, or go straight there. There's a lot of options.
From what I understand, the two best fly-in options in regards to not too much of a drive are Atlanta, which is 2 hours away, or Charlotte, which is about 2 hours away. But the risk you run there's just a lot of moving parts.
Right.
You can fly into Augusta, but it's really cost prohibitive because that is a small regional airport with not many flights per day.
Right.
That's only for fancy schmancy golfers.
That's what I was looking at. Yeah, that's what I was looking at. It was not cheap.
I flew in last time, but I was on their
You're the
dime.
honcho. Well, you're the
No, I was
honcho.
on their dime.
Yeah.
So that was awesome.
Yeah, we do have a compensation package from Joe Fest, but it does not include travel. So so we'll let Mark figure it out. If Mark, if you could get to like Louisville, Kentucky, we'll pick you up.
I might stay with my friend Jim.
As I extend the smallest of
right
of olive
You're
branches.
gonna go
to
out of
make
your way,
that-
huh? That's lovely.
If you could get to Savannah, we'll pick you up.
Right. Right. We will drive the length of Georgia for you, but that is all.
Hey, Georgia's not small. All right.
That's true. It's really we make it sound like it's this Rhode Island sized state, but it is not. It is humongous. There's a lot of nothing going on.
Yeah. A lot of peach orchards.
A lot of ups and downs in that northern part of the state. But Dustin Jeffrey says he needs a What's on Joe Mind clicky pen.
Yes,
All
we
of
do.
America needs a What's on Joe Mind clicky pen, and I should have plenty of them for the trip. So come on down, get a clicky pen, maybe a business card, and maybe we'll have something else cooked up by that point too. Folks at Mark II Design are working on some goodies as well, so we'll have something to add to that in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, so if you needed a reason to get to Augusta, I mean, we're going, so that's all the reason you need.
Yep.
We're going. We're guests. We're official. We'll be hanging out at the Grindstone Toys booth when you see us hanging around anyway.
I'll be running around the show floor looking for an exquisite version Hiya Toys Storm Shadow.
Right.
Bring them all to me.
Or just one.
Or one.
Or just one.
Yes.
One's plenty.
And I will trade you issue 18 of X-Men Red. Yes. Autograph, if you like.
You're going home empty-handed then, huh?
Probably.
X-Men issue 18 of X-Men Red and $30.
Right? We can haggle.
Oh my God. And that's it for community calendar. Good Lord. Could we possibly do any more? No, we couldn't.
We probably could.
I mean, we probably could, yes, but I'm afraid of what that might bring. Terrified, even. Community calendar. Community calendar. Community calendar. Community calendar.
On a bus, on a psychedelic trip.
Community calendar. Community calendar.
The dude in the burning pentagram, were those Jawas in the background?
Probably.
Did you just say the dude?
Yeah.
That's Billy Idol.
I mean, it didn't sound like Billy Idol. Just saying.
Oh, he's reading murder books and trying to stay hip.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just looking at the cult of Jawas around him.
It's eyes without a face, man.
Eh.
It's the big
Kinda
rap
like-
break in the middle.
Kind of like the Jawas.
You've got a good point.
Just saying.
That is
Davis
an
Peace Bender
absolute point,
says,
Honcho.
You made me
bring your-
onto something.
Bring your Slaughters Marauders barbecue for the honcho to sign. That's not a bad idea.
For a nominal fee. Yep. Inscriptions are extra.
Personalize it for $10.
Yep.
He'll
Mark's
not
children
personalize
need
it for 20.
wine.
Avoid the clap, Jimmy Dugan.
That got us banned 10 minutes ago. Come on.
That's good advice.
Look, that's good advice. That's just solid advice. I don't care who you are.
I don't think we put that one on the t-shirt. All right.
Not yet, anyway.
No.
I mean, get your own Joe Fest. You know what? We should put together a Joe Fest exclusive What's on Joe Mind t-shirt. I need to get to work on that.
How about this? It's just a slogan like, in life, aim for applause, avoid the clap.
Ooh. I still want to see how we're going to do our Billy Idol Jawa Eyes Without a Face t-shirt without getting sued.
Much less how we're going to pull that one off during our panel. Because we are scheduled to do a panel. More details on that forthcoming as we get to that one.
Billy Idol may come after us.
Right.
But
Or
also
Billy
a
Zane.
reminder that the twisted morass that is community calendar brought to you by Roma Collectibles. Roma Collectibles, the official nomadic homeless toy store of What's on Joe Mind, but there is also Roma Collectibles, the toy store, happening in Springfield, Ohio on Upper Valley Pike. You can see the store hours there. Closed Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday through Saturday, 12 to 7, Sunday, 12 to 5. And as always, folks, you can see our proprietors there looking happy in the picture. Do not let them bite you. Should they approach you with teeth bared, be sure to just like shine a bright light at them. That tends to get them to back off, kind of like vampires. But you don't get that cool eternal life thing going. If they bite you, you just bleed.
No, you just,
So
you
don't
just,
let them
you just
bite.
end up working at Roma Collectibles.
Right. So again, community calendar brought to you by Roma Collectibles, the official traveling vintage toy retailer of What's on Joe Mind.
It's kind of like those poor kids in Joe's basement.
It's a living.
Is that what we're going with? Is the tag in for that one?
Sure.
Like the Flintstones garbage disposal?
Yeah, it's exactly it.
It's a living.
It's a living.
It's time for the news. Come on, there we go. All right. I was stuck on the news screen for a while.
You
I had
sure
no idea what
were.
was going on.
I just waited patiently.
Yeah.
Don't look afraid, Mike. Don't look afraid.
Julie, you looked afraid.
I was so pensive. I was like,
So, like I played the news thing and then it was just stuck there. I'm looking at this blue globe, this blue computer generated globe graphic for 5 seconds. I was
you called up. It's like you called up the news and the headline is like Gumby's been shot.
Right.
You didn't know how to deal with it.
Gumby has been shot.
Have you seen the video? Let's take a look.
First news item.
Do.
First news item. Always great. We always get the big one out of the way first. And of course, today it's Hasbro sucks. They report came out today through any number of financial outlets. I've got CNBC up there, but it's the same bad news wherever you look. Reported a 20% drop in fourth quarter revenue and a loss of $1.06 billion. Billion with a capital B there for the last 3 months of 2023. I'm not laughing because that's funny. I'm laughing because it's uncomfortable. Holy crap. $1 billion in 3 months for toys. Holy crap. They expect to cut $750 million in costs by the end of 2025. I couldn't find any reading that connected that to the layoffs that were already done at the end of last year. They have already reduced inventory by 50% in 2023, which is important because if you're one of those Ollie shoppers out there, good luck. Better get it while it's offered because there ain't a whole lot going on past that.
If you're waiting for Raws, don't.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, I guess the reported 20% drop in fourth quarter revenue and the expected down sales year, and there's nobody left to make any toys, so I guess we shouldn't be too surprised by that. But
Peppa Pig.
Right. It's going to be a tough year. I mean, I'm glad that Classified is a strong seller for them, so we're not in a ton of trouble specifically in that regard. But if the whole ship goes down, Classified being a good seller isn't going to matter. But
I wonder if any of this is tied into like the overall just performance, like the underperformance of last year's Transformers movie, or is this strictly the toy industry, like the toy side of their business?
I think
I am gonna.
because I think that would be on Paramount's books, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, Hasbro's got to have some nut in the game there.
Well, Paramount laid off 800 people today, so
Oh, really? Yeah.
they did.
so that Transformers movie
There
got
you
him
go.
there. Then
Yeah.
But Matthew Matson with an excellent question. How could they have a fourth quarter loss with all the stuff that came out in the fourth quarter? I mean, all that stuff that came out in the fourth quarter for Joe fans, I guess we were spending out the nose, but there's not a lot invested in GI Joe, right? We're a small group in an echo chamber, so it seems like a ton to us, but there's a lot more stuff out there that they have on shelves that just ain't selling, especially last year when just things were a little economically depressed all over the place. So it's always it's always toys and luxuries that suffer first and suffer hardest. So
that's where I think the poor performance of the Transformers movie shows that they didn't sell as many Transformers toys as they were hoping.
Right.
Yeah. But the movie itself, I think that's all on. They pay Hasbro the licensing fee, and I think it's all on Paramount's books then.
Cheapest big spender has it figured out.
Right. They would never fired everyone's favorite ginger. They would have just been fine. Well, I mean, I guess when did Hasbro hire Conan O'Brien, though?
Oh, come on now. He's got better hair. I'll give him that.
Right.
But...
Right. S. Myers, he's getting what I'm putting down there. Think past Joe. This isn't about a single brand. This is a macroeconomic trend, and it's going to continue. Let's hope not. I have to think too that part of this is just course correction. There's been a pretty drastic change in philosophy at Hasbro from the leadership of the previous regime with Goldner into the current regime with the unfortunately named Chris Cox, and again, I'm certainly not well heeled enough in finance to discuss the performance of each one, but there's a lot of money involved in retooling from what is viewed as an entertainment company to getting back to what is viewed as a toy manufacturer. So I think we're in the worst part of that on top of all this. So
and not to be mean, because we're not happy about this. Even I'm not happy about this.
No.
They have hemorrhaged talent for 6 years, largely without replacing it, to the point in the last round, an invaluable guy like Michael Kelly got let go. So they're at the part where they're letting go of people that they desperately should be trying to keep. So
right, and that was after those layoffs in December were after laying off 1,100 other folks in January.
Yeah,
I mean, a third of everybody walked out the door last year, talented or not. Like even if you're just some guy pushing papers around in middle management, you've got some value if to only alleviate the bulk.
Yeah.
Right.
When I left Hasbro in 2017, I think I had the contact numbers or emails for 121 people I considered friends or contacts, people I want to stay in contact with moving forward. Right. 121. Now that is 6-7 years ago almost, right? I think it's down. I think it's down to 11. Like, and sure, some of them left on their own.
Right. Look, the world is different now, and you don't tend to have a career in one place like you used to. So some of that turnover is just going to happen.
Yeah.
But how many of those folks, Mark? How many of them were laid off? How many of them got out before they could get laid off? Like if you went through that list and started separating out those folks, I think that percentage should be like that would still be a scary percentage, is right?
Except the people that liked me were generally the smart, handsome, well-to-do, talented people, right? It's the other people who should have got laid off. I'm just saying. The people who didn't like me, there was something wrong with them.
Right. We don't
one in particular.
we don't care what those people think, regardless.
No,
So that's fine.
no. But this is just bad. This is bad all around.
Yeah, this is terrible big picture news. And again, we're kind of lucky in that being a show that focuses on G.I. Joe almost exclusively. Things have been pretty rosy for G.I. Joe in comparison to this in recent times. So we don't deal with this stuff a whole lot. It seems almost out of tune with the rest of the program that we put together. But this is always the black cloud looming over the top of the G.I. Joe brand, even right now, in what is at least for us collectors, us older collectors, a nice bellwether period. The fact that Hasbro just seems to be just taking on water every time you turn around. But yeah, I there's a lot of questions going through in the live chat. I don't have answers for you. I think the answers are just depressing, and it's a whole other discussion about and it probably lays out some of the greater ills of society in general here in the 2020s. So I don't necessarily want to get into that here, but yeah, just bad news from the folks at Hasbro, and good luck if that's what you're still doing. We feel for you. Hang in there and hope it gets better, and I guess we keep making good stuff, and we'll keep buying it. Hope it's enough.
Mm-hmm.
Next news item.
Dude! That's all I had.
All right.
I thought you guys were going to blame Marauders Barbecue.
All right.
Sales don't matter through the roof. I just got rid of one.
Right. I mean, Mark saw 100% jump in sales on that, and just in the fourth quarter.
We are 100% sold out. Apparently, I was the only one selling Hasbro product in the fourth quarter.
But Renegade Con announced this week their 10th anniversary event is going to happen on March 1st. That is on their YouTube channel. Amongst the any number of new products there, we've got an addition to the G.I. Joe deck building game based on Silent Interlude. Sweet. You can see Snake Eyes there parachuting in on Destro's castle. That promises to be really cool. Also, there is a mission critical expansion called Cobra Ascendant, which features Serpentor and the Twins and Bazooka and Rock and Roll. So be sure to check that out. Both of those are available for pre-order now. The Action Games reveals happen at 3:00. I think it's Pacific time on March 1st for Renegade Con. So be sure to set your calendar for that. Tune in for that. I apologize. This is all I had usable pictures for, was this shot right here. So yeah, we'll have more next week. We'll show off a little bit more next week. We want to make you aware of it all the same this week. That is happening March 1st. Renegade Con 10th anniversary event on the YouTubes. Our neighbors, our good friends. Check it out. Joe, you playing any of these games?
I am. I've played them both. I like them both. I think we had more fun with Mission Critical, but that is because we missed a crucial part of the rules in the deck builder, and like I'm not even joking. We're like three quarters of the way through the game, we barely had any cards to play, and one of us, I'm not saying it was me, but we looked at this rule and we looked at the name of the game, which is Deck Builder. And we realized we weren't building a deck. We were just using the deck we got dealt.
You were playing Uno.
I swear to God.
Right.
And the three of us couldn't stop laughing because whatever the movement, I forget what it was, but something to the rules where you were supposed to draw more cards, and none of us thought to do it. So but we had fun doing it. But I really like Mission Critical. Yeah, Mission Critical's fun.
I've heard good things about it, but unfortunately, yeah. I don't have it.
I've gotten all these. What sucks is they don't ship your order until you get all this pre-order stuff in. So if you go in and you buy a bunch of stuff and you happen to have a pre-order on it, it's got to sit there till everything pre-ordered. So there's some things I'm waiting to get, but I dig it. And they had a Yeah, even the RPG stuff. I buy those books. I don't read them.
Just pre-order everything separately.
Pre-order everything, get it, put it on your shelf, and go. One day there'll be another pandemic, and then I'll have time to play it.
Right. You'll settle down in your isolation with Toilet Eel.
Right. Oh, well, you don't even know.
Which I still can't believe that's the name she chose for herself. I refuse to.
My
I
wife
refuse to accept
My
that.
wife is an amazing woman, man. To know her is to love her and to laugh. So.
I don't dispute that. I'm just saying that Toilet Eel, I refuse to believe. I refuse to believe that she chose that for herself.
Just wait and pay attention to my show. Just wait.
Next week, our special guest, Joe Slepsky's wife.
Oh,
no.
She would look at me and go,
"Who?
No." She'd be like, "No."
I don't want to talk to those weirdos.
Right. I imagine she's heard the stories at this point.
I don't think it would be a flat no. She'd probably go, "Wait, which show?" No,
she knows.
Not
she
them.
knows.
No.
She knows. She and a friend went out to dinner tonight to give me the house alone because they couldn't handle all this hot Joe talk.
Right.
Woo! Woo!
She's
she's
always in the other room when I'm recording. Every time she hears me go extreme, she just shakes her head and is like, "Oh my God, what have I?"
Just the inherent weirdness that is what's on Joe Mind.
Meow. 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 Meow.
That's right. When in doubt, I'll just drop that 20 seconds of cat fight in there. I got no problems.
Do it.
Cat brawl.
You need to drop some Joey Styles play-by-play over it. It'd be incredible. Cat fight.
That would require some kind of actual activity.
Mm-hmm. I used to be able to do that.
Yeah, like Mr. Sacco, he's used to having it easy. He lives with senior citizens up there in the North Hinterlands. He's not used to having to actually wrestle. So
right.
That's why I go. That's why I show up, and that's why I play with him. It tires him out.
Yeah, when you show up pushing that shopping cart full of weapons and plunder in the door, he knows it's on.
He knows it's on. He's reaching for that stop sign himself.
Right.
Or like the shopping bag full of cat treats.
New Jack's back.
I can't believe this is selling tickets. Anyway. March 1st. Tune into the Renegade Con or the Renegade Game Studios YouTube channel for Renegade Con's 10th anniversary show. Next news item.
That
was clever.
Oh no.
Right? Leaked classified images. What are you knowing for? This is kind of neat. We didn't expect to see this, even if it's not entirely surprising.
He's upset he could have held out for more on that barbecue sale.
No, who wants to split a 2-pack with me? I get the good half.
I think there would be people to argue with you on which the good half was.
Yeah, that's a great 2-pack. You kidding me?
You want half of it?
I'll take the top half. You take the bottom half.
Well, wait a minute. That's not how it works. Heads or tails, huh?
I'll take the waist, the heads, the shoulders, and the eagle.
But anyways, there looks to be a deluxe Mad Marauders Sergeant Slaughter and a 2-pack Mad Marauders Lowlight and Spirit out there in the ether, waiting for somebody to get it shipped to them and distribute it. Don't have any details for you as far as who's going to be selling this stuff.
Apparently,
your guess is as good as mine on any of it. Looks like Sarge has the same stuff that he had the first time around, plus maybe those big boa boxing gloves, which is kind of cool.
And the weight set.
And the weight set and Spirit there in the 2-pack. That's not Freedom.
Nope.
That is Neol is the name of the bird on there, and that is apparently is
what was it?
Is it Nava?
No.
Neol, Niyol. and that was either Apache or Navajo. I forget, but it translated as wind. It's basically freedom with a darker paint job.
Is there an in-canon excuse for Freedom's absence?
Yeah, he traded her in for a younger girl.
Yeah, has Freedom gone injured? Like,
Look,
what?
Spirit is building he's building an aviary, right? He's got a whole cadre of bird friends.
I'm here for it.
That way they spread the wealth, right?
Now, I'd prefer to believe the idea that Rapcho stole his other bird. Yeah.
Maybe he stole one of Rapcho's.
Hey.
I'm about to say Rapcho is being held prisoner in Destro's dungeon right now. So
I guess that's fair.
Looks like they've got some changes on the box coming. The names on the top instead of on the bottom.
Yeah, in tiny print. And look at all that spare room on the bottom of that box.
Yeah,
Well done.
We sure these are legit?
Again, you know as much as I do. They came through the Facebook groups. This is where they popped up for me. So again, take from it what you will. Look, we're not surprised that repaints are on the list. You know, we've been talking about when these were going to show up for a while now. So I guess it's only now we just know that they're on the clock, right? They'll be popping up before the end of the year, I'm sure. So,
and I hate to break it to you, Rob, but them being executed poorly doesn't mean they're a knockoff or fake product.
Yeah, I know.
It might be what they really wanted to do. Could we make? I could just see the meeting. I like it, but could we make the logo smaller? It's really filling up all the space there on the box.
We really want people to look for it. We really want them to give it some thought so they really know what they're buying.
Can we bland this up a little?
The logo's so small. Hey, could we put G.I. Joe on the very top of the box, but real small? Well, yeah, but we'd have to drop the font of the names of the characters to half the size. That's okay.
That's fine. That's not important.
Yeah. That being said, and I don't care at all for Slaughter's Marauders stuff ever, other than the vehicles. But the Spirit looks pretty damn good. I'm digging the Spirit. The low light I can absolutely do without. So if anybody wants low light and not Spirit, give me a ring. We can make it work.
Yeah, well, I think that just ruined your deal with Joe Slepsky there, Mark.
Yeah, but it might have made it with Joe Colton, right?
Yeah,
she's a low light fan.
That's
I
true.
like low light. I like Spirit. I like them both.
Do you like low light in bright gear that'll make him stand out as a night sniper? I do.
Yeah. I like my low light blonde.
Yeah, that's true. I like low light going into whoever's outfitting the Joes and going, I need colors that pop.
I like Santa. I like the Wizard of Oz.
Well, Sergeant Slaughter just looks like he's a box of Neapolitan ice cream, like strangely colored Neapolitan ice cream.
That does make him faithful to the original on that one, though.
Yeah, well, no, I get it. Yeah, I get it.
But yeah, again, if you like Slaughter's Marauders, then the Mad Marauders work for you. If you don't, they don't.
Yeah.
Take from it what you will. Again, I have no hard and fast real information for you in regards to when these are going to happen, or if these are. I mean, technically, there's still a chance that these aren't legitimate, because that packaging is really not good looking. So who knows? Maybe it's mock-up packaging, maybe it's custom packaging. Who knows? But we'll find out more as time goes on. These are, again, just leaked images from somewhere overseas, so we'll find out later. And along those lines, next news item. I'm trying to place that, and I have no idea.
Hey,
but Entertainment Earth's Drop Zone. This came through while we were doing last week's show, so it's a bit of an oldie for us. But on Leap Day, on February 29th, we'll hear more from the folks at Hasbro. I'm gonna guess because they've got a write up here at Entertainment Earth that's full of classified puns. So, they haven't announced it yet, but be ready for some kind of live streaming event from Hasbro Thursday, the 29th of February. Excuse me, I'm all verklempt here.
Right?
Do you know?
Hey,
Do you know whose birthday that is? Do you know whose birthday that is?
The
That
Pirates of
is-
Penzance.
I'm gonna say
like
that
major,
is
like major pop culture character.
Superman.
You got it. Oh, Ragtime Robin, of course you know that. And
He's
you know
born
why
on Leap
Ragtime?
Day?
You know why the official reason was?
I forget.
Because
'Cause it's-
Krypton
because-
follows the Earth calendar.
No, because it's the most special day of the year.
okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's what DC said. But yeah, because it's the most unique day of all time.
Diana
Oh,
Davis
look at
says on
that.
February 29th, Cullen turns 13.
No,
I wouldn't
all
let that get around.
No.
right. Yeah.
I would not let that get around. I know
You
in,
may
in
want to lie
normal,
low for a while.
Diana, there's nothing wrong with dating a younger man, but
right. I mean, I know in
Ooh.
in normal human years he's like 52 or something, but let's look out on that one, would you?
a hell of a beard on that 13-year-old, though. I'll give
Yeah,
him
that's
Hey, how is he on a stationary
Settle
bike
down.
that powers electricity?
that. That's a good point. Hey,
'Cause I got a position open for him.
before we get away from this, I don't know if people even know the name, but one of the smartest guys at Hasbro when I was there, a guy named Billy Lagore, is the new CEO of Entertainment Earth, and he's crazy smart and good at his job. So I think Entertainment Earth has been kind of an afterthought for collectors for some time, but he absolutely knows the business and knows what he's doing. So keep your eye on Entertainment Earth. I don't know how quickly he'll be able to make changes, but he's flat out brilliant. So maybe good things ahead.
There you go. And really, entertainment, the drop zone there has any number of Hasbro events through the month of February. So don't be surprised if maybe something else happens somewhere along the line. Who can tell, right? I mean, just because I didn't think any of those were necessarily related to G.I. Joe product doesn't mean that they aren't. So always keep an eye on the drop zone at Entertainment Earth. Maybe if you guys figure something out, by all means, let me know. I'm always willing to steal content from you. I mean, take
Maybe
customer
those
input.
Marauders figures.
Yeah, take input from the fans.
Whoa.
There's
Ban
Colin.
yourself. Ban yourself.
There we go.
There he is.
Hey, cheapest big spender's trying to bait me.
Hey, cheapest big spender.
Yeah.
That day would be September 22nd.
And the statement there is, see, what Superman's birthday is important because his I-beams work. When is Cyclops' birthday?
Cyclops' birthday is September 22nd.
I thought it was December 25th because he's Marvel Jesus.
Yeah, see,
No,
Cyclops
that's
is
cool.
Cyclops is notable because his I-beams always work. See, Superman's are good because he can turn them off.
Oh,
Cyclops is.
must be nice to have all the powers and they all work all the time.
I'm just saying.
It is. That's why he's Superman.
That's why he's Superman.
He's so interesting.
And
If
he
only
gets
they
a
had-
spaceship with fists.
Well, I'll give him that. There's no arguing that. But the only thing that would be better than Superman is more Superman, like from other Earths. So good. Next multiverse item.
He needs to read Superman Red Sun.
Next news item.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Oh.
Oh.
Man, that's some
exciting.
gimmick infringement right there. And now I'm on the bottom. This is some bullshit.
Hi.
I'm gonna put you down there with the crawl. How do you like that? How do you
Fine.
like them apples there,
Hey,
pal?
man, at least I got thick in the crotch right below my face. I'm digging that. Truer words were never spoken.
You've changed up now. Now you got Plug the Damn Show.
Yeah, we'll see.
Right below the face is the best place for thick in the crotch.
That's a good point.
Wait, what?
Hey, I'm not here to kink shame.
On the YouTube interview on the YouTube channel, Robo Don't Know, which I don't know anything about. Don't ask me. Brian Flynn from Super 7, he's the guy who runs the place, announced that they would have a mass device announcement at Joe Fest. Super 7 is in attendance officially at Joe Fest. They will have a booth, which is pretty cool. That's an O-ring kind of crowd, so nice to have the O-ring manufacturer on hand. And they will have some kind of mass device announcement for us in June. So just a little bit of time, only 3 months, 4 months before that happens. But hey, it came out this past week, so why not?
Dude, that's a really good idea.
Isn't it though?
You could make it reaction sized, or you could make it ultimates sized, and it's close enough to 6-inch that you don't even need to collect either of their lines. And if you're a Joe fan, you probably want it. Yeah. Because nobody got that last piece to put together the Hasbro one.
I did.
Come on.
I did too, yeah.
Yeah, I did too, but I had to pay through the nose for it.
See, I walked into a what is it, a Mervin's? What are those things? Oh, Marshall's. No.
Okay.
And there was a big stack of them. And it was all like that first one and that second one. Then at the very bottom of this stack of like 25 4-pack figure sets is 4-pack number 5 with the transmitter on it. And I let the rest of them fall.
Yeah.
I just try to pull it out like the tablecloth on the table setting there.
Right.
And it crashed down and everybody in the store is looking at me and I just was like, sorry.
I know I've told this story before, but in case people haven't heard it, one of the last Joe items I had planned that got canceled because because Toys R Us got away from vehicle packs was going to be an Arctic Dragonfly against a Polar Stinger, so a Stinger Jeep done in white. And what they were after, and what you would have seen on the cover, was the winch on the Dragonfly was pulling up the hard to find piece of the mass device, and it was attached by 2. They would have been soft rubber tow cables, the size of the Wolverine tow cable, but brand new and not breaky like the original one was. Different color, of course, but you could have used it on vintage Wolverines and vintage Maulers, and you would have got 2 of them. So you only needed to buy 1 set to re-outfit your old vehicles. Had that coming for you.
That's awesome.
Didn't happen, though.
Sam Myers asks, did you guys see when Big Bad Toy Store briefly had the Sigma or Super 7? Sigma 7. Ooh.
Super 7.
Oh, it's back, baby.
Justin Bell just had a heart attack.
The Super 7 O-ring figures with an October release date, and then pulled off the website. We did, actually. I think we did a news item on those. I was surprised they were waiting that long to get those out there, but whatever.
I just hope Super 7 doesn't runs this better than their last campaign, because if not, we're going to have to dig up the catalytic elements ourselves.
I hope it's a little bit bigger in scale in regards to the figures as this one was. Like I like this, and I really appreciate that they got that out there for the 4-inch figures, but the mass device was this big ass thing, right? And this one's almost conversational. So, and it's got treads, it rolls around. No, man, the mass device just sits in the basement of the Cobra headquarters. It's too big to move around on treads.
It had treads,
I guess. I
hope it's reaction sized. I'd rather pay $80 for this than have to decide if it's worth $220, right?
Yeah.
Look, all I'm saying is a thing that's just a big square with a gun on top, like this is, that big square can be hollow.
If they
it's not going to cost a whole lot.
If they can get that screen to be an actual monitor where you can like run episodes of the show on, then you're in the hundreds. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not unfeasible. You know what I mean? Like a little LCD. I mean, that's totally doable, like the size of a Switch, Nintendo Switch kind of thing. And then you could, you know, run Wi-Fi and run YouTube on it or something. That'd be amazing.
All I know is we're gonna have to fight tube worms.
Right? And that
Neat.
water's going to be heavy. Hey, is there, I can't tell from this angle, is there a seat on the top for Naked Duke to sit on? Copyright Diana Davis.
Naked Duke needs no furniture.
That's no
He's- He sits where he wants.
And sometimes it's right on top of the mass device.
Jake notes that you're killing him. And frankly, now that I've put that up there, that does make you liable in a court of law. Next news item.
Wait. I'm rethinking this. So Torpedo 83 just said tablet compatible. Now I'm rethinking this whole thing. Absolutely. This could be toy size, but you make that screen a little bigger. This sits on your desk at work. You give it full Bluetooth. It lets you totally watch TV and watch BS at work. Bluetooth compatible in your ear. It is a desktop monitor to watch like your third screen. I'm not joking. That would be an awesome like desktop accoutrement.
Don't you already have a phone for that?
No, I have a giant screen next to me. But your phone, like imagine people walking by your desk and be like, is it a mass device or an anal probe?
Thank you for that
joke.
And you just say yes.
Yeah, and be like, why can't it be both? Like, you know, I'm just saying, I think that would be a great conversation piece for your office space. But please continue.
And if they took it away from you, it would be your X screen.
Yeah, it would totally be an X screen. Oh my gosh, show yourself out.
Here we go. No, that's Mike's job. He shows me out.
Next news item. Hey, congratulations to our buddy Eric over at Surveillance Port. They went 365 consecutive days making a post on G.I. Joe news. Look, we do this thing once a week, and that's entirely too often. So I can't imagine putting out content 365 days in a row. That's crazy. So a round of applause for our friend Eric over at Surveillance Port. Well done, sir.
Look, a round of applause.
Oh, yeah, you deserve that. But think about it,
Good God.
365, that's Christmas, that's New Year's,
Nope.
that's anniversaries, that's Cyclops' birthday. Like, holy smokes.
Imagine if they started this year, it would have been 366.
We work on Cyclops' birthday on purpose, Mark. Even if it falls on a Sunday, right? Like that's just something we do.
Fair enough.
Steve Young, 2-time All-Pro quarterback, asks, have you guys ever thought about having Robo as a guest? And I would have to say no, because I don't know who Robo is.
RoboCop.
Sure.
But Peter Weller. Peter Weller would be an amazing guest.
He freed Sting from the cage at Capital Combat.
Right? He played a mean cornet.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him on the Tonight Show playing trumpet once. So
yeah, he's awesome.
He was good. He's a professor at what is it, Ithaca College? Yeah, like he's Peter Weller. He's
brilliant. Peter's brilliant.
He's a dude.
Yeah.
He's a dude. Anyways, congratulations, Eric. Good job. We appreciate you. Always my first stop to see if I missed something on news. So we wanted to make sure you got your recognition here. Next news item. On Kickstarter, more news as it happens by David Gillis and Brian Hickey. It's heading into the final stretch. That is funding until February 23rd at about 1 o'clock Eastern. I decided to put up some of the shots from the book. You can see inside its glorious pages. This one needs your help. So if you haven't pledged here yet, by all means, check it out and decide if it's for you. From our friends over at Total Toy Books, including Brian Hickey, who'll be at Joe Fest, by the way. Woo-hoo! He'll be there with us. He's part of the What's on Joe Mind Irish contingent.
They like to fight.
No, they're very pleasant.
Really?
More so than we are.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not hard.
Right? They're foul mouthed, but they're not really fighters. Anyways, more news as it happens with David Gillis. Hey, again, needs your help. So if you're interested at all in a book chock full of Action Force photography and customs and history, check this one out and get it pledged. I got my pledge in yesterday. So follow in kind. Let's get this one done. Joe Slepsky, you in on this one?
Not yet. I'm checking it out right now. There's 9 days left to go. They've got a ways to go on that stretch. I hope they make it.
Right. This one needs our help.
I've been covering Action Force lately on my show, and it is very intriguing to me.
It for something that's it's so close and yet so far, right?
Yeah, like it's that uncanny valley of G.I. Joe. It's neat.
It's that little half turn difference from what we're used to being G.I. Joe, and so that's really the appeal there, right?
Right.
It's kind of different from the other foreign versions of Joe, where it's just kind of the same characters without any story attached to them. They just look a little different because paint, plastic differences or what have you. Like there's actually a story to Action Force.
There's a full continuity with different introductions for. It's pretty cool. Different relationships, like between Destro and Cobra Commander. It's just a little bit different, and really, it's been neat digging into that for me. It's all new to me. So
I wish there was a story for some of them Fun School Joes, right? Like who convinced Beachhead to wear Zubas?
Who decided Zap's code name should be Bill?
Right?
Bill. I mean, look, Beachhead has always been on the forefront of fashion and comfort. So who's to say? I mean, Zubas are the choice.
Yeah.
If you want to make a statement and be comfortable, that's the way you go.
It's kind of the Moon Knight thing, right? Why does he wear white? Because he wants people to see him coming. So Beachhead's just like, give me some tiger stripe banana pants and drop me in the jungle. Let's go.
So he's wearing Zubas so people think that he stopped buying pants 35 years ago.
He was the third Road Warrior, apparently. So not bad.
But so anyways, get over to Kickstarter. Give a search to more news at it as it happens. Check that one out. We've got a link to it down in the Big Boy comment section down below, so you can just click there too. Check that one out.
You know what sticks out about that Whirlwind Wolverine combo down there? It's missing a tow cable. They should have made my Arctic set.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Boom, tying it all together.
Right. It's all about me.
Next news item. While you're on Kickstarter, our friends over at After Action Report, their book History of G.I. Joe number 21, in full speed ahead, right? This one's most of the way there. Racktime Rob, give me an update.
All right. With 23 days to go, it has 94 backers and pledged $6,677 on an $8,000 goal. So it's
all right,
chugging along nicely.
Right. Less than $100 to go. And it's always telling with these book ones because they don't follow the same arc that the toy ones do, right? Like the toy ones always have this explosion out of the gate and this explosion at the end. The book ones, it's always just kind of, if you're making a pledge, you're buying a book. So just keep stacking those pledges up. Make sure you get this, check this one out. Again, we talked to Josh and Roger just a couple of weeks ago on episode 293. That would be 3 weeks ago. So be sure to check that out. Check that one out. It's everything you could have possibly wanted to know about G.I. Joe number 21. Easily one of the most important comic books of our generation and of all time.
Yep.
I was hoping for more, Joe Slepsky. I was hoping for more.
Well, to be honest, I'm clicking through to it. Yeah, like what I loved about their other books is that they go to the lengths to uncover all the different variations of the print stuff. So it's not just about the behind the scenes stuff. It's about the production of these things. That's always fascinating to me. I love the actual history of the comic book market and the production of comic books. That's fascinating to me. So that's what I really dug about the After Action Report books that I've gotten. So and 21 has had a lot of mystery, over the years. A lot of people forgetting this and forgetting that, and who drew this and who did that, and why was this done, and all that stuff. So yeah, a deep dive like this, it just smacks of becoming the final word, and the go-to. So get in on it early so that you're not left behind.
Cheapest Big Spender says, anytime you announce a Kickstarter, you should play 5.5 seconds of Motley Crue's Kickstart My Heart to build up excitement. And that's not a terrible idea.
You know what's a better idea? Play 12 seconds of it.
Yeah, Mark would destroy it, though, so I don't want to.
I just want to get to the guitar bridge. We'll be okay.
Then we're banned in Uzbekistan.
That part where it slows down at the middle, we don't need to hear them talking about.
No, get out.
Yeah, just that first minute and a half. That's, anyways. So again, head over to Kickstarter, punch in After Action, or just go ahead and click the link that we have for that one down below. Check that one out. Should fund no problem. Still got a long way to go, but hey, get your pledge in now. Just make it academic. Hey, Roger's in the crowd tonight.
What's up?
Roger, do we never not plug the damn book?
Come on.
No, we always plug the damn book. Unlike certain people in the damn show. Which, not Roger, but...
No.
Anyways, next news item. Forgot Mark's a big NXS guy.
Who isn't? Come on.
Well, I mean, right, but
NXS is amazing.
So good.
Heavy Armor Toys, their Commandos Wave 2, we told you last week, they are available for pre-order now on their website. That is hatoys.ecrater.com. You can see the 4 varieties that are making up Wave 2 right there on your screen. We got dude in a ball cap, we got dude with a mustache, and I think we got brown-haired dude and blonde dude. I don't know if we've got ginger dude. Maybe he's Wave 3.
Yeah, come on now.
Right?
That's all anybody would order. Throw the production.
Fair enough. Maybe Ginger Commando is its own wave.
I gotta say, that's the zappiest zap head that ever zapped, I think.
That's like if Mario enlisted right there. That's a thicker mustache.
Is he gonna wait? You think he's bad now? Wait till he eats a mushroom. Holy
right. It's a me, Cobra.
He throws fire sometimes too. It's pretty awesome.
Right. when he's in the red shirt, look out.
Yeah, don't fuck with that.
Oh, Firefly says, last time I went to E-Crater, I almost fell in. Well, go ahead and fall into Heavy Armor Toys Commandos Wave 2. Available for pre-order right now. Next news item.
And
of course, Skeletron, same thing. Head over to skeletron.com for the Gyre Wolf, Wolf Trooper, and O-Ring Wolf Trooper, all available. $26.99 a piece. Just $4 shipping in the U.S. So, buy multiples, and that price evens out pretty nicely for you. You can also get the Skeledrones, which are just lovely on a whole number of levels. Get a 3-pack of them for $17.99. Joe Slepsky, in on any of these?
No, I'm not in on them, but they are good looking. Yeah, they are good looking. I've always been a front runner. I got to be honest when it comes to stuff like this. I tend to go brand only. It's rare that I branch out and do some of the side stuff. Don't hate me. It's just the way I was born. And so a lot of the stuff I'm seeing for the first time, these look really great. These look really, really great.
They are. I mean,
fantastic, Joe.
We
yeah,
pub up
fantastic.
A lot of our friends' stuff. These are so good.
Yeah, the detail on them is really wild. Yeah.
Joe, you trust us, right? We wouldn't lead you to our friends if they didn't make awesome stuff.
Well, that's the thing. Like I love a lot of this. I really appreciate a lot of stuff, but when it comes to the limited space I got, but
we know some really talented bastards, Joe. You got to get on board here.
I know. Well, listen, anytime they want to come on the show and promote it, I love telling people about this stuff for sure.
I mean,
See, there you go.
Yeah.
As we
That's good
we
looking.
harass and harangue you into buying action figures.
oh,
Do it.
these guys, that guy, and then the O-ring guy.
If it gets you in any trouble, Joe, you have Toileteel call me, and I will not pick up the phone because I don't want to get yelled at. But you have
Man,
to call me.
Mike, we were in Chicago for a hot blip 2 weeks ago, and I absolutely thought about reaching out to you, but I barely had time to see my own family. Next time we're there for longer, I'm gonna hook you up.
Look, it's difficult, man, because Chicago is it's a good haul for us. Like it's 3
I'll
hours
come to
away.
Indianapolis, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah, we'll be
I'll
here.
come to you.
I mean, I'm not saying we wouldn't come to Chicago for you.
No, I'll come
I'm
to
just
you.
saying that's always an iffy prospect in the winter to begin with.
We'll hit some good toy stores.
I know where there's a couple.
Yeah.
So you'll travel to see Joe, but not Webb. All right.
Well, I mean, if Webb lived in Chicago, we'd probably.
I've never been to Rhode Island. I've never been there.
Oh, it's lovely.
I drove through it once.
Just wait till the bridge is fixed.
Yeah, right. You can't get the Providence right now.
On a Cub Scout trip to Boston, we drove through it once. So I've been to Rhode Island in the sense that we were on a charter bus for an hour.
Yeah,
I got a niece going to school in Boston, so I'll tell you what, if we ever go visit her,
yeah.
Mark, I'll be there.
Oh, it's great. We condemned all our bridges, so we've never been more Rhode Island than right now. It's great. Come on down.
It's like the pandemic all over again.
I'm telling you.
Dustin Jeffrey asks, how's traffic in Providence?
Here's the best bit. Dude, I was fast and the furious today. It was a snow day because they were projecting like 6 to 8 inches of snow. It was actually 4 inches overnight, then 4 more inches this morning. But I'm going into work, baby, because it's nice to be able to go into work. And I'm on 95 North, and they have the 3 staggered plows clearing off the entire thing. But there's a 4th exit lane that goes for a long time. They're going 20 miles an hour. And the dude in front of me did this, and I followed suit. I passed them in the exit lane and got in front of the 3 20-mile-an-hour snowplows right as that exit lane disappeared. And I was the only visible car on I-95 in the daytime for like 10 minutes. It was awesome.
So it was not jammed.
It was not jammed. It was my personal 4-lane freeway for a long time. So digging that.
Was jammed with snow.
That was it, right? Come on. And just people, they overdo the snow thing out here so bad. Just drive medium, keep the wheels moving. You'll be fine.
I agree 100%, man.
And that's snow driving tips from L.A. Joe Slepsky.
Right?
Chicago, Joe Slepsky. Yeah. Thank you.
And Bend, Oregon, Mark Weber. Where it took, when we were, this is the old man bit. When we were a kid in Bend, it took a foot to maybe cancel school. Not always, maybe. So these New Englanders are soft, man.
Next news item.
Do.
Hey, that brings us to the end of the news. Remember, the G.I. Joe 3D Printing Podcast is your home for all Chunky Tank Kitty and Meowler Tank news. We got some coming up soon. Soon, in a couple of weeks, we may have a report for you in regards to Chunky Tank Kitty and his Meowler Tank, and maybe some other goodies as well. You never know. We'll be at Joe Fest, so there's certainly an opportunity for some more opportunities for some cool What's on Joe Mind themed swag at that show.
I just remembered a quick community calendar thing. If anyone's in LA and if they're going to the Transformers Fest, TF Con, first week of March, I'll be there. So say hi.
Yeah.
I'll probably see Diana there. I see you there a lot.
Will you be dispensing hugs?
No, I don't. No, I'm not that creep.
Because that's all these people want to know at this point.
No. I'll be there. I'll be the guy at the Transformers show who only buys G.I. Joe product.
So you heard it here first. Hugs for Joe Slepsky. Gets you $0 off your admission to TFCon.
I need no hugs. But I will be there though. So if anyone's going, say hi.
Steve Young says, just so long as Chunky Tank Kitty is classified, not O-ring. Well, you know, you've seen Chunky Tank Kitty seems to be more compatible with the smaller figures. We've seen him in pictures next to Beach Party 86. So I don't know about that.
I want to see Chunky Tank Kitty taking on the Skeledrones. That's about the same scale, right?
Yeah.
I'm all over that.
Seems about right. But we'll be back in just a moment after a quick word from our friends and wonderful sponsors at Kokomo Toys.
We buy, sell, and trade vintage and modern toys. G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Transformers, Marvel, DC, and more. Located in beautiful downtown Kokomo, Indiana, we are open every Wednesday through Saturday from 12 to 5. It's a theme park of nostalgia. Join the thousands of people who have traveled from all over the Midwest for over a decade to buy and sell with us. Get your geek on.
There we go. And just so Mark doesn't feel bad, I'll scooch him back up in the top row there.
Hey, and before we lose the script, Diana Davis is only 5 minutes away from TFCon. You just got to take the 619 and take it all the way around because the 10 is jammed.
10 is jammed.
We got to keep that streak going and catch surveillance port.
Anywho, shit, I'm getting error messages.
What?
I'm gonna say wait on it. StreamYard just popped up a window. StreamYard is unresponsive. Do you want to close it or wait? I think we're gonna wait.
We're gonna go with wait.
So I'll start the conversation first. I'll be back. Joe Slepsky.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk some comics here.
I love it.
It's the whole main event. We're only like almost 2 hours in. We're gonna finally get to what we advertised.
My bread, my butter.
This is so very close to a bait and switch, but thank God we got to it. Joe Slepsky,
yeah.
The Skybound universe, the Energon universe.
Energon.
What do you think?
I like it so far. I think it's, you know, I'm sorry, my dog's having a moment. She's 15 and she loves G.I. Joe.
That's fine. That meets both of our requirements. We love
I love it. I love it.
Things that love G.I. Joe.
So far, so good. I think you know, like if you look at it from the Duke side, I think it's a fun way to show the origins of the team. And if you look at it from the Cobra side, I go, why not? You absolutely should be differentiating it from the Real American Hero version of it. Sorry. So why not lean into the weird? You know, why not lean into the Cobra Law? And you know, whether we love it or not, you know, like the old version of it, Cobra Law is canon, so it's there. So absolutely, let's use it. There's no sense doing a separate universe if you're not going to take a right turn or a left turn kind of a thing. That's my take on the whole situation. And so far, quality's been great. It's 3 issues, but quality's been solid. So
I am absolutely loving Duke. It's fantastic. Cobra Commander, like I said, when they said how weird and like horror book I was going to be, it's like, are we getting Cobra Law? Nah.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Cobra Law. So I'm kind of thinking about how do I feel about that one, to be honest. And I'm just kind of like, I'm going to give it the chance because I was like, well, you know, like you said, Cobra Law's canon. Let's see if they can make, you know, a silk purse out of this sow's ear.
Yeah. There's no bad ideas. There's just bad execution. I mean, listen, man, they finally brought Bucky back to life and you get Winter Soldier, you know, like there's I really believe in that. Like there are no bad ideas. There is just bad execution. And literally a why not? You know, like if you run anything that's remotely parallel to the Real American Hero verse, there's no reason to have a separate universe.
Exactly.
There is no reason to do it. So let's go weird. And weird is what I mean. The comics have barely touched on the Sunbow ever. You know, like Sunbow was Sunbow, you know, in that iteration, the cartoons. So this seems to be very Sunbow-y, or, you know, pulling from Sunbow. So yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, it does help play into some of the weirder aspects of the G.I. Joe mythology that we all kind of accept, like, you know, composite clone emperors and guys who can inexplicably blend into their surroundings.
Right. And when I say Sunbow, I mean, like, you know, every other episode was a wild Cobra scheme, you know, like, and I have no idea if they're going to do it like scheme by, you know, scheme of the month, that kind of a storytelling version of it. But all those wild schemes, you're setting up a universe that's got the Transformers in it, that's got Energon, that's got all this crazy energy and now crazy plant life and all that. Like, yeah, you know, live in the wild, man.
I'm all right with it being wild, and I'm totally down with the idea that you got to do something different, right? It has to be different.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why bother, right? But I'm partially bent because I didn't like Cobra Law. And there's a lot of Joe fans who hated Cobra Law. So if you wanted to make it different, that's great. But if you're gonna grow it from poison soil almost, at least half the fan base hates it. So
well then, I mean, but that's what Ara is there for. You know, the Ara is there to satisfy that fan base, and you know, it's let's give them the benefit of the doubt. So far so good. So far, he comes from a crazy civilization that, you know, it's got some, you know, weirdness about it. You know, like obviously, if I recall, there was no Nemesis of Warsaw, right? So, you know, when they unveil that's going to be amazing.
If you like that guy,
well,
and if you hated him, it won't matter. It's that guy that I didn't like.
Here's what I did like about it. If you're going Cobra Law,
even beyond Cobra Law, I'm so sorry. My Mary Jane's having she's got some lung stuff going on. Even if you don't like Cobra Law, let's be real. Half of the G.I. Joe original production era was post Cobra Law, dealt with pred aliens, you know, dealt with, you know, all the weird that we're, you know, the weird that we're talking about that they might end up embracing. You know, the toys were veering weird for literally half the life of the franchise. So
the entire 90s is weird.
But I would wave the flag and say, the bad half. And I'm not talking bad that I didn't like it, but bad as in the sales weren't there. It didn't resonate, not at the same level. And some of that is just brand fatigue. I get that. Yeah. And that the cartoon got awful. That had a big hand in it too.
Right.
But I don't know. I always struggle with the idea that when you're given the keys to a universe, and I know there are limitations, surely, from the people who own it, but when you have that sandbox to play in, and your best idea is a twist on something that was crazy polarizing in the past, or the multiverse or the multiple versions of the same hero thing, those are the things that just rankle me. Like, God, you had that sandbox to play and create in.
I go the other direction, man. That's literally Cobra Law is the sandbox. That is a part of the sandbox that no one has ever done. And the fact that it absolutely has rankled people before. Take the challenge of making it something that people are going to care about, you know, and time will tell.
We'll see. And I don't hate it.
Right. We'll see. 6 months from now, I may not like what they've done with it, but just on paper, I'm on board. I think it's neat. I think it's neat. And then actually just going by Cobra Commander #1, the execution of CC in that book, I loved it. It was great. And you know, and they were, as they wrote, like, do the opposite of what no retreat, like, you know, no retreat, like this is a different CC.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I also like the fact that he's the heretic. You know, he's the guy who brought mechanized technology in there.
Mm-hmm.
Hold up.
There's Mike. Hello.
Hold up.
Mike.
Let me throw something in the middle here. Matt Rubin asks, real quick, a relevant question. Wasn't 1993 G.I. Joe's second largest money-making year? Didn't I hear that somewhere before? And I would say kind of. 1992 was a big year for G.I. Joe, but you have to include the caveat that it included a big year in sales for 12-inch G.I. Joes, recapping stuff that had happened in the 80s. So a 1992 was a huge year for G.I. Joe in sales, but not nearly so much of that from the stuff that was going on in the 3 3/4 line, if that helps at all. So contextually speaking, yes, but in regards to the main G.I. Joe line in our heads being the 4-inch dudes at the time, not so much. It fell pretty well in line with the rest of the 90s, which was a downward slope. What I would say to fans that are, you know, like Mark and apprehensive about Cobra Law, I would say that the same thing exists for that element that exists for the rest of the book. It's not Cobra Law from the 1987 cartoon. It's different.
Yeah.
Right? Cobra Commander is a human who stumbled into Cobra Law and is the outsider and looks to be actively attempting to screw them over too. So even if they're an element in the book now, I have a feeling they're not going to be an element in the book for too long.
Yeah.
Right.
Like they might be done by the time Cobra Commander's miniseries is up.
Yeah.
Right.
He's the heretic.
I don't know how it got over into the comments that I'm speculating about a book I haven't read, right? Like, gotcha.
No, you got it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, wait. Sorry. I'm all caught up. I'm good.
What about X-Men Red number 18? What about that? You got that one?
Right here, baby. Fresh.
Yeah.
First printing, by the way.
Thank God.
Actually, no, it's fun. So you brought up X-Men. We touched on this earlier in the show. When that first the 2 miniseries for Krakoa came out, that idea, I actually loved it. And I don't like Jonathan Hickman's writing. I think he's talented. I can see where some people dig his stuff. It's not for me. And I've read a lot of it. Not a fan. But those first 2 miniseries, just the idea of like, oh, it's constantly resetting. It reworks the whole, like all the history of the X-Men and blah, blah, all that stuff. I was on board. And then the execution, I think, has been absolutely boring and terrible.
Yeah.
And so that could be the case here, like idea. It could be like, oh, awesome. But will they execute? I dig the idea. I'm really on board for the idea, and we'll see how they execute.
The real KJB, welcome to the show. Says my 14-year-old is nearly burnt out on Marvel. He instantly fell in love with all of the Energon universe. Never been into Transformer G.I. Joe books before. So again, welcome to the show. Thanks for chiming in there. But yeah. I think there's a lot of fresh energy going around these Energon books. And again, speaking as somebody who any love I have for Cobra Law has been slowly accumulated over the years. Like when that happened in 1987, I was not on board. Plain and simple, just no, thank you. As time went on and I realized, well, it didn't kill me, so I guess I can laugh about it now. I've built up that tolerance of, that callous that a lot of us have. Well, okay, we lived through it. It's over now. Ha, ha, ha. So I'm by no means a Cobra Law fan either, but I don't mind them being introduced. Like, I don't mind them being introduced to this as an element. Like G.I. Joe is a lot of different things. It's not just straight military. I get more annoyed by folks who try to play G.I. Joe as straight military and that, insist that it's all about guns and explosions. And no, that's not the case at all, right? It's about, first and foremost, it's about the characters in the books, but open your eyes. Cobra is not a league of terrorists. They might as well be the Legion of Doom. There are a bunch of supervillains out there.
Yeah, written by Shakespeare.
Right,
You know,
right.
through a Shakespearean lens. Yeah, and really, Cobra Law as a concept in this comic book so far is no different than ninjas, right? You've
Right.
got a paramilitary book that runs
Well,
for a
it's-
while, and all of a sudden, here's ninjas, you know. And yeah, in the 80s, ninjas they were amazing. Come on, but that is a weird concept to throw into this paramilitary book.
And it's
But
no different from this in the same universe.
yeah, exactly. But obviously it worked. You know,
Yeah.
it was done well and it worked.
No,
And then
I
and
want
a lot
to
of people
read
would say
the rest of the story.
that they went too far with the ninjas at at a certain point, and then they pull it back, and then they go too far, whatever. It's no different than ninjas.
Yeah. No, it took me back when I first did there because, like, how do I feel about Cobra Law? Can you make it work?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I want to read the rest of the story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a lot better with Cobra Law knowing that they're in the beginning as opposed to when they got introduced to the 87 movie. We're like, I don't like this backstory for Cobra. now that we kind of know this up front, it's a little better.
The only question I had, I talked about this on my show, was why did they draw, if that really was supposed to be Grunt on that last page, why did they draw him to look like Rock and Roll? Because
I don't think it's Grunt. I think he's calling him a Grunt.
that was my other question then. Is it supposed to be Grunt, or is he calling him a Grunt? And if it is supposed to be Grunt, did they accidentally draw Rock and Roll? And then editorial goes, wait, we're using Rock and Roll over here. Call him something else. Because if it is supposed to be Grunt, he's not supposed to.
Yeah. Sorry. I saw something online. They were, somebody, I think it's going around that's Zartan.
Oh, fun. Well, I
didn't see anything that would make me, reference that. I've been looking, but
obviously one issue speculation, but reading it, if I was reading it as Grunt, what I took it as is that Cobra Commander is working with the United States government. Like the US government is working with him to get some of this technology, you know what I mean? In a nefarious kind of way. And that could be how, those could be his benefactors in some way or the other.
I think he's just being dismissive to this guy who's with him.
Right.
I don't know, that's a loaded word to use, in a Joe comic,
I know, but
I agree, especially italicized like that. I think, Joe, you could have something there. In the sense that, look, historically speaking, in Hama's run of the G.I. Joe comic, I've always said the second biggest enemy to the Joes was the U.S. government. Like they fought first, and they fought the people at the top of the ladder second. So that's, I don't think that's out of line as a potential plot point going forward in that book. I did want to touch base on one other thing past out of the Cobra Commander title and into the Duke title. I find it interesting that the one blood feud that we have going on to this point is Duke and Starscream. And frankly, I'm buying it. Right? Like that was the part of this that had me more on edge than potentially including Cobra Law, right?
Yeah.
I had more apprehensions about sharing a universe with Transformers.
Right.
Especially and it made it worse when I found out that Transformers was just going to start you off by, they were going to throw you in the deep end of that story. It was going to be pretty familiar. And Transformers was going to hit the ground running. Whereas G.I. Joe was going to get set up with these 4 miniseries before we got into the G.I. Joe title proper. And, so it just feels like introducing your background characters in your main book, so to speak. Right. But I have to concede it's been executed really well to this point. So a lot of those apprehensions have gone away. Thanks to really good storytelling, and my hats off to the creative team on that one. But again, the one feud that we have, even if it's just one-sided, because Starscream doesn't give two oil slicks about Duke at this point. But the one burning, passionate hatred in this thread so far is that Duke really hates that robot that turned into a plane and squished his pal.
Yeah.
And frankly, we're all here for it. We can't wait until he launches a hot grenade into Starscream's mouth or whatever, and gets his revenge.
But that's
So-
kind of the problem with every Joe Transformers book ever, right? Is
Right.
I'll take whatever Decepticon you want to pick against Snake Eyes, right? Quick
Yeah.
fight too.
Well, it's always
So-
it is always a matter of scale. I agree.
That's a hard thing to do, and maybe they'll do it great, but it's a hard thing to overcome.
I get the sense that basically Duke's going to come across bigger problems than his robot vendetta.
Mhm.
Sure, and it's gonna
Yeah.
that's gonna be what drags him into the story, but it's certainly not gonna be the end of it. But I also don't see it like it's gonna be somewhere down the line, right?
Yeah.
Like we're not getting to that one in
Yeah.
Duke number 5. That is
Yeah.
that is not resolving itself in this Duke miniseries. But it's like there's gonna be some kind of resolution there at some point. Like it's too big of a deal now for it to never get resolved.
The one thing, and I'm all for some changes, right, and flipping things around and taking things in directions you don't expect. I bristle a bit when a core character has the one thing that made him special taken away, and when Clutch basically said, "Well, I'm not a good driver," that was a hard read for me.
That was weird. I agree with you.
Like if he's
Yeah.
not if he's just a mechanic, like I mean an ace mechanic, best mechanic in the world, great,
Yeah.
but that's not very fun, right?
Maybe he's underselling himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that's
Because he didn't
if
let
that's-
Duke drive.
sure, if
Yeah.
that's the play, cool. But yeah,
Or
it's
maybe-
like
Right.
it's like
Like-
Snake Eyes going, I don't know much of them martial arts.
He has
Like
to be he has to be such a good mechanic because he's always wrecking his cars because he's a dangerous driver.
Right. It doesn't sound to me like he's bad. It sounds to me like he's aggressive.
All
Yeah.
right, I'll reread it. If he has no fear and therefore makes bad driving decisions.
Right. Like I
Okay.
you know, the impression I get from you is that you're thinking that this is like, oh, he turned left against the light kind of. No, I think he's practically a kamikaze driver out there.
Yeah.
And that's
That's
maybe
fine.
right, maybe a skill that he will be able to rein in into
Yeah.
being a strength.
It drives like his
Yeah.
pants are on fire. Yeah.
Or maybe put in the proper vehicle, it makes
Right.
him really valuable. I'm
it was
cool with any
It
of
was so good to see the vamp pop out of that garage. That was great.
Right.
any of that is fine.
Yeah.
we
it was
saw
But
them-
being a poor driver that's a bridge too far.
Yeah,
Well, he didn't
we
say
saw
he was
that
a poor driver. He just said he wasn't the best driver.
we saw him launch out of that garage in that proto vamp, and they were well on their way to having a Dukes of Hazzard style run until a very a cagey stalker put them in their place.
Yeah.
But
And that's
Um,
about the time the green shirts regretted their decision.
right,
Yeah, he says, quote, "I'm not the best driver."
yeah,
Oh.
I don't know it because again, looking at Clutch to that point,
Yeah.
he just seems like a guy who is very talented at what he does, and maybe isn't in the best place in regards to his own self-confidence.
Okay, and that's
Like-
totally fine. That might
Right.
be brilliant writing.
Right.
We'll
I
see.
have a feeling we haven't seen a whole lot of Clutch's story yet, and there's a lot more to be told.
Okay.
That's my feeling on Clutch
Yeah.
at this point. Like
Yeah, and
that didn't sound crazy for him to say about himself.
Yeah.
It's not like Duke looked at him and said, "You're a shitty driver, buddy.
right.
Move over, I'm taking the wheel." No, that didn't happen. Clutch is still driving that Jeep, right?
That's true.
So
I give it the benefit of the doubt at least, right?
I am willing to give Joshua Williamson a long leash
Yeah.
because I've really enjoyed what he's done over at DC. He had a really good run on the Flash.
Yes. I was just
He's doing great stuff on Green Arrow. Green Arrow was supposed to be a 6-issue limited series. They upped it to 12. They've upped it to an ongoing series because of what he's been doing on it.
Oh, I need to read that.
His
Yeah,
Superman
Flash
that he's
run
doing
was
right
great.
now is fantastic.
Yep.
He's writing Batman and Robin, and he's actually made Damian Wayne a character. He's actually made
Cool.
Batman a character.
which is weird enough.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, if you look at what's going on in the other Batman books, like Batman is just this weirdo. But no, he's an actual human being, and so is Damian, and that's something we haven't had.
Is Damien irascible and snarky as a 13-year-old? Oh, I hope so.
Well, let's put it this way. He's irascible and snarky as a 13-year-old and was also raised by a secret society of assassins. So, add that in.
So he's Billy.
No, he's
Dun
better
dun
than-
dun dun.
I love Billy.
His grandfather's Ra's al Ghul. So,
I
there
love
you
Billy.
go.
I love Billy. He's the best.
So, I mean,
Billy's terrible.
I'm in with Joshua Williams. I was excited to hear that he was doing these. So,
Okay. Hey, I don't want to come off as the Doom guy. I love that we have 3 monthly Joe books, right? And I like them, all of them. Excited to see where they're going. But I'm always apprehensive about Joe's versus Transformers.
yeah.
Because come on. Unless it's Joe's with one side, Cobra's with the other.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. And the Cobra Law thing's hard for me.
I've
it's
loved
not
every
a
panel
deal
of
breaker.
these two.
Not a deal breaker. But
Diana Davis says Cullen's 13 and not at all irascible.
ooh,
I would not be publicizing this. As your friend, Diana, I would not let this be public knowledge.
You're going to get a phone call.
Hopefully it's just a phone call. Anyhow.
13-year-olds don't even go to prom. Come on.
But to change the subject and,
Well, they
and keep
do
us
if they're
on
dating
topic,
17-year-olds.
I
Because
guess.
we're running real long tonight. Let's talk a little bit about Real American Hero, the main title, if you will. Joe Slepsky, again, we'll start with you because you're our special guest.
Yeah,
We've seen a huge jump in sales for Real American Hero. Try and explain this.
the artwork. I think the artwork is dynamite. I think the approach to the artwork, I think, is really what's dynamite about it. The shift in style is great, and I think it looks, the rougher look, the more Kubert style look in the interiors. But they also approach it with this this splash heavy style, right? There's big pages that aren't full splashes, but there's just big moments on the page that tell a lot of the story in a splash without being gratuitous splash, if that makes sense. So it gives a lot of setting and a lot of scene. The covers are amazing. The actual Kubert covers are amazing.
Right.
And I mean, I think those are the two reasons why there's the spike. Also, just in general, hey, Fred, new broom sweeps clean. People are excited about it again. I think the I'll say this. The further we get away from crazy androids running around in Real American Hero, the better.
Yeah. I have to admit that Revanche is not the greatest story element in the Real American Hero book, and hasn't been
for a long time. Yeah. I don't mind the weird zombie mindbender Serpentor stuff going on. That's kooky.
Right.
That's fun.
Serpentor himself is a genetic clone put together of a mishmash of parts. It just that the current information is more Genghis Khan than anything else, but still, like weird science fiction stuff has always had a home in G.I. Joe. So that's almost not not even a sticking point anymore. But Revanche has they're just kind of boring. Like in a world that already has overwhelming odds for our heroes. Like it's almost become this super villain that throws overwhelming odds not only at our heroes but at our villains too.
And I don't even know their motivation. And I've been reading about them for years now, and I don't know what they like. Is it just a generic like AI? At least talking about Cobra Law. Yeah, Cobra Law. At least their motivation was they want to conquer the world, but through plant. Like they had that niche of like plant life is king, and this and that and the other.
They're bargain basement Ultron. Yeah,
I guess it's that, and that's
they're the what's it called? The Cronenberg Flintstones.
Yeah, and then there's no real personality there when you're dealing with a hive mind. You know, like even when they did the Borg, they had to break off like a 7 of 9 or the Borg Queen. You know, it's just we just get revanche, and it's I don't know. There's no personality to any of the specific robot.
I think the storyline is at least giving them at least a little bit of a purpose, or at least better utilizing what's out there.
Yeah.
Rather than just hanging around and go, oh, look, let's just spy on Cobra some more. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, I hope their story comes to a head more than anything else. Like, I'm ready for them to let them have their turn in the spotlight, sure. And then I'm ready for them to be done.
Mhm.
Like I don't need them hanging around anymore. They're not
and
that great.
And they've been hanging around for a long time.
Yeah.
I think maybe maybe Larry hasn't known what to do with them, and now he's just finding some purpose with them.
Well, Larry's always been his strength. One of his strengths was always balancing 3 storylines, and he always did a tripod of storytelling for real, and was great at that. And that seems to be what he's continuing to do. It's just one of those is revenge, but you have now with Serpentor and his cuckoo dudes, you now can have Cobra Commander and Serpentor, and then bring in Destro, and we don't need revenge anymore. Like we now can have these different factions of Cobra related.
They're aligning themselves with Serpentor's zombie hordes. I think.
Well, they're about to attack Springfield. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think revenge is bad. I just think they're kind of played out. Take them off the board for a while, bring them back in 30 issues, and maybe they'll explain a little better then.
But I think the end, that last storyline, from IDW, that's continuing into what we're getting now from Skybound, was definitely the best out of the storylines that we've gotten out of Real American Hero for a while.
Mm-hmm.
There was definitely a little bit more charge. I don't know whether it was because the IDW is finishing and this one's starting. Maybe that is, but that's great. If it puts that charge into into the book again. But there's definitely been that charge in the book, and it's been a much more enjoyable read these last.
I was actually disappointed when they set up that great idea of turning Cobra Island into a vacation spot for terrible people.
Yeah,
that just could have been a concept that ran with different stories for a long time,
right?
And then they just bombed it with the zombie virus. I think that was kind of an inspired, fun idea that I wish they hadn't kind of thrown it away so quickly.
Sure, but I understand it too, that it had the bad luck of falling right when that deal to change publishers went down.
Sure. Yeah.
And so if the word comes down from Skybound, hey, let's kick off something new and really put a charge into the book, then whatever the status quo was before is going to be left behind, and that's probably where that
sure.
The resort, the Cobra Resort, fell by the wayside because of that. But again, we're running pretty long, so I guess can we wrap up? Do you have final thoughts? Anything that you want to put out there that hasn't been in the discussion so far?
I think they're firing on all cylinders right now, and I genuinely mean that. I think Ara gives it anything that the military head fans of Joe's love. That I think Ara is delivering that in spades. The funeral issue was amazing. Like Ara's really doing that grounded story, with robot ninjas, but they're really doing that well. And then I think there's a promising future for the Energon stuff. I really hope it sells.
Yeah. I you mentioned what you always thought Larry's strengths were as a writer, and I would say that it's always been his characters, right? Like any one of his characters can have a meaningful, realistic conversation with any of his other characters. Like if you just picked a Cobra off of the Cobra side and threw him in a room, and picked a random Joe off of the other side and threw him in a room, those two characters would figure out something to talk about in a Hama book. You know,
Yeah.
okay, it's Lightfoot and a Heat Viper, but I bet you by the end of the issue we would have something that was worth reading.
I'm reading. Actually reading Nth Man right now, which I had never read, and I've got like the first 15 issues or so of Nth Man, and it totally reads like a GI Joe book, and and it is that it's brand new characters, and you're into it. Like all the characters are really reacting human, and they each have something interesting to do. So it's Larry. I mean, that is absolutely one of Larry's strong points.
And Diana Davis, who is involved with the comic book production, so hats off to you there, ma'am.
Yep.
Please write letters into the letters page. More letters means the powers that be see actual fan engagement over cover collecting, and Larry lives off fan engagement. So there's
friend of the show, Scotty Cameron, was in issue 303.
There you go. Friend of whose show?
Oh well, I've seen him and he's joined your show. I've seen him in the chats before, but friend of Joe.
I know he has.
Yeah.
I just wanted to hear you say it, Joe.
I don't plug the damn show.
He wasn't plugging his own damn show.
No, I just sit with a logo behind me for 3.5 hours.
But,
I was at a craps table in Chicago. I pulled out my wallet to throw some money down, and it's a Cobra wallet. It started a GI Joe conversation at a craps table in downtown Chicago. I mean, a table full of adults.
Yeah. I mean, this shit's been on the shelves now for 40 odd years, Joe. We're
great.
We're old as hell, man.
Totally. Did someone need 6 laps? Oh yeah.
I was there to gamble. And it absolutely sparked a conversation, and I left leaving business cards.
There you go.
All right. He did plug the damn show. I'll put the ticker back up there. Okay, there it was.
But flash that wallet at an elementary school, and the kids have no idea what it is.
No, they don't.
Well,
even though they're probably playing craps.
Yeah.
Right. Those craps tables of the elementary schools, they look at that wallet and they're like, CM Punk. And that, hey, that is right.
Elementary school kids play different kind of craps, literally like pants, like they crap their pants.
Oh, wait, hey,
they're just doing guys and dolls.
But we've been keeping the kids for a long time tonight. So what do you say we roll on into what we got in? But before we do that, well, give everybody a chance to think about it. Remember that we do have our friends over at Bandcamp. We are excited to announce our ongoing partnership with them. As soon as I find their overlay, I'm sure that'll make things better, and it'll give Mark something to floss his teeth with.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Come on. Okay, it's there. It's not on my screen, so I don't know what the heck's going on at this point. But we're excited to feature a really funny podcast, perfect for anyone who hates censorship. It's called Bandcamp, and the hilarious duo of Dan and Jennifer host it. Bandcamp is a comedy podcast where they read real band books and try to figure out why they were banned in the first place. This season, they're reading Mark Twain's classic Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, one chapter at a time, out loud. If you think banning books will lead to a not too great future, and you want to catch up on your reading without all that reading, then Bandcamp is for you. Whether you're like Jennifer, curious to read the book for the first time, or like Dan and a little too lazy to read it for yourself, you will love Bandcamp. Remember, look for that anywhere where you get your podcasts. Your favorite podcast player will have access to it, and subscribe to it today. That is Bandcamp with 2 N's. Subscribe today.
It's a great idea for a podcast.
I got to do the whole Kilroy was here thing. It was amazing.
Right? Joe did nothing.
Right.
Joe didn't do any clowning around down there.
No, I don't clown. I don't play when it comes to banning books. Banning books is a scourge on this nation right now.
I agree, but I'm just saying that, Mark and Rob do their best to try and work around the overlay, and you did nothing.
Spoiler alert. Next time.
What do you want?
Next week. No,
I demand physical comedy, Slapstick.
Here's what's going to happen.
Slapstick is where it's at.
2 weeks from now, because I'm on vacation next week, I am going to disappear behind the Bandcamp thing and magically improve my appearance. And when it drops, I will look 20 years younger And like I got made out of a plastic mold. It'll be incredible.
No, not that trip again. It's gonna go full Odo on us.
It's gonna be so good.
Full Odo.
Can't wait.
He's gonna Rene Abersonois it up.
So we're gonna take a pass on what we got in this week because we've already been here for 2 hours and 20 minutes. So let's roll into shout outs. We'll start with our special guest, Joe Slepsky.
Oh man. Well, shout out to my wife for always putting up with my stuff. Shout out to my listeners. Shout out to you guys for having me on. Shout out to the Joe and Joe podcast. Is that what we're doing? Promos or shout outs?
Yeah.
Those are two different things.
If you didn't shout out your own, if you didn't plug your own damn show, I was going to ask you.
I'm plugging my own damn show, man. We're rolling on 8 years of Joe on Joe. I've covered every episode. In every episode, we've done every issue of the Marvel Real American Hero. I've covered every episode of the old school cartoons, even Extreme. And it's the home of Cold Slither behind the music. And we're always working on fun stuff. I'm always thinking of fun, different, weird ideas, and it's my show, and I love it. And I hope you guys listen to it. And find me wherever you find podcasts.
I mean, 8 years is kind of a long time, I guess.
Yeah. Listen, man, one-man show, running everything. Give me some props, Mike.
I mean, I guess it's kind of long.
I mean, Mike thinks he runs a one-man show anyway, so
yeah.
He's not impressed.
We don't do nothing.
When Mike figures in the amount of prep work you guys do, yeah, Mike kind of does.
I've built my entire show around doing zero prep work, so every week is off the cuff.
Hey, I edit all the audio.
Greg's been on the show. He's awesome.
You've been doing the You on Joe, for a while there, and still I have not had my episode scheduled.
Oh shit! I thought we did.
No, this happens every time you guest. Every time you come on, you're like, "Oh, I thought we didn't. We did not. We never did."
Totally
We're gonna do it, and you too, Mark. It's funny. Literally, look at me. I reached a foot away from me, and I have Mark. This is literally your email information on a piece of
you just put it on the internet, sucker. Come on,
no, you can't see it. But it is literally your email information there.
Greg Augustin notes that Joe's Columbo bit is hilarious, and I say that yes, it is because I'm in it.
Yeah, Mike's literally the co-lead on an episode of Columbo as General Hawk, who is Columbo's partner in solving a murder in the pit. G.I. Columbo came out about a year and a half ago. Check it out.
I'm there. I wore the helmet when we were recording audio for it. So
you did great. Like you killed it, man.
You killed
it. And yes, I'm working on something big for Cobra Convergence this summer. So
all right. Yeah. Ragtime Rob, shout out.
Hello. Yes. Shout out to the studio audience. Thanks for coming in and putting up with all of our shenanigans and shtick. And shout out to the makers of fine comic books everywhere, including the Energon Universe and G.I. Joe Real American Hero. I'm excited to read those every month.
Mark Weber.
I mean, without calling out anybody personally, I can't tell you how much fun it's been to be kind of back in the toy business the last 10 days or so.
Just kind of.
Just bouncing back to collectors and talking about upcoming waves and what things that haven't been done and what do you think about this and that kind of stuff. Just even boxing up toys that are going out to somebody who's really looking forward to them. I'm digging every bit of it, and we're not gonna cross the streams a whole lot because this is a G.I. Joe podcast, but.
Right. We don't want to reveal stuff because we don't want you to get fired.
Yeah, well, that too. But I'm just digging it like crazy. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity that just opened up for me. So that's what I'm grateful for. How's that? That's my shout out. I shouted out not me, but the opportunity that I'm just thrilled to be dealing with right now.
All right.
It's awesome.
Want to give a shout out to, of course, our special guest, Joe Slepsky. Round of applause for
right.
Joe Slepsky.
A good one.
Be sure to check out the Joe on Joe podcast wherever you get your fine audio podcasts. You making the jump over to YouTube? You're going to join us on the dark side anytime soon?
I have a YouTube channel, but it's just the audio of my show. No, not anytime soon. Not anytime soon.
You're more of a
Good.
TikTok
Less
guy.
competition.
I can tell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I'm all over. I have to do that for my work. I want to shoot myself.
He dresses as Buzzer and then goes and flosses in Walmart.
Nice.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Hey, real talk. I was at the I was at the Grove, the big outdoor mall here in Los Angeles, like big world famous thing. There was a dude who absolutely looked just like punk rock Zartan.
Awesome.
Like, so I nudged Toilet Teal and I went, take a mental, because I knew she wouldn't know who I was talking about. I was like, take a mental image of that guy. And as soon as we got home, I showed her and she was like, oh my God. Yeah.
Was it Pixel Dan?
Oh, might have been. I don't know.
Also a Joe Fest guest.
Yeah.
Come say hi.
Who?
Pixel Dan.
I'm just saying, because after we got announced for Joe Fest, I stopped paying attention.
Yeah.
That's our show now.
Ticket sales came to a screeching halt.
Slammed shut. They were done. Anymore, it'll be a fire hazard.
Gone to the dogs now.
The refund policy page on their website blew up.
Crashed.
Yeah, it crashed.
I mean, it's right. It was right there before we got announced. Sorry, no refunds. So,
I hear there's free admission if you bring me a Hiya Toys exquisite Storm Shadow. Just saying.
I don't know if that's the case, Mark.
I'll make
I would
it
hate
happen.
to.
I'll make it work. Trust me, I know people.
I know.
But anyways, a shout out, of course, Joe Slapsky, to my other wonderful co-hosts here, Racktime Rob, who finally got to do an episode of Racktime here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll do regular Racktimes again. Maybe Rob and Joe talking about comics would be a good idea for a show. I don't know.
I'm on board, baby.
And of course, to the honcho, Mark Weber.
Yeah. I got to learn how the interwebs work.
Want to give a shout out to, of course, our wonderful sponsors, Kokomo Toys. Real quickly, we'll sing their theme song. Kokomo Toys. Kokomo Toys. Louder, Slapsky! I don't know.
You do now. Now you do.
Now you know all the words.
Ooh, I wanna take you.
I don't yell at you. we had to mute him.
I was just getting into G.I. Joe. Stalker and Roadblock. Come on, pretty cover girl. Oh, you lost me. All right,
we just ran aground again.
I was there. I was turning it into a G.I. Joe bit.
To our wonderful friend Brian Lower, Hooded Cobra Commander 788, who is normally our lead-in, but he's taking some time off. Hope you get to feeling better soon, sir.
Shout out to Brian. He's the best.
Right, anticipate you being back with us before too long. I'm trying to do a couple of months of guest hosts here, and I don't have one of my regulars. This is upsetting.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a guest host lined up for next week. Mark will not be here, as Mark will be off in parts unknown. Ace Allgood will be joining us next week. We're gonna talk some 12-inch GI Joe next week.
So it's a show about 12 inches, and I'm not invited, obviously.
Correct.
Okay.
That got us kicked off the show earlier, Mark.
Fair enough.
Correct.
Fair enough.
Because it's not about four. I know I'm not going there.
No.
Anyways,
it's a good grab though. Ace is great.
Look, man, I got a Rolodex. We talk to people. They reach out to me. They want things to be heard. They come to What's on Joe Mind. And then all the other people that do shows watch us, and they get more clicks than we do.
We're the show that gives back.
Right.
Yeah, see?
We're your favorite G.I. Joe podcast's favorite G.I. Joe podcast. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Anywho.
I tell people, like, you got a podcast. I go, yeah, it's called Joe on Joe. And I say, like, we talk about G.I. Joe. Then there's always a pause, and they go, Well, what do you talk about?
Well, sometimes about G.I. Joe. Other times I'm mounting other guys named Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say it's about G.I. Joe. 8 years?
Right. Look, they'll plug in eventually. They'll figure it out. They'll know. I mean, 18 years isn't 13 years, but it's a pretty good number. That's a good chunk of time.
Sure.
I'll give you that. It's more than halfway to 13. Remember, it's 13 on Arbor Day.
Oh,
Arbor Day. That's our birthday
plant a
every
tree.
year. That's right.
Charlie Brown's pitcher's mound.
Right in the middle of it. And then they won't win a stinking game.
Mhm.
But remember, if you're joining us here on Facebook tonight, go ahead and give us some kind of a thumbs up or a heart or a little huggy guy. He's featured in our thumbnail tonight. If you're catching us on the YouTubes, like the video. I guess it's like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell if you want to, whatever. We don't care. All of our social media is listed down below. It's funny. I put up a post on our community tab about bouncing back and forth between 1400 and 1399 and how it was driving me nuts. And just to reward me for noticing that sort of thing, 2 people cut out. And so then we bounced between 1398 and 1399 for the rest of the week. Thanks for that, folks.
What?
So the moral of that story is shut up.
Right. I need to just stop it. Andrew Gaugan says in YouTube years, what's on Joe Mind is 65 and feeling every bit of 83.
Yeah.
And take a minute, wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day. Make sure you did it, whatever you're doing, you're running out of time. So you better get that done in the next couple hours or so, because tomorrow you're done. Okay, you're finished. It's toast. Let's not don't be like you were at Christmas trying to go run it up to the last minute. Don't procrastinate on Valentine's Day. That's a bad idea.
Making them reservations at the Chateau Blanc.
Right. No, they're booked solid, man. White Castle on Valentine's Day is a thing.
I know, it's hilarious.
It's fantastic. It gives me hope for future generations. But that's what we got. That's what we got. Enjoy what's left of your Fat Tuesday, everybody.
Thank you all for having me on. This has been
I'll be back next
as
week.
Always, it is an honor. It is an honor to be here.
I guess as expected, when Joe Slepsky is here, we put on record length shows. But
Happy Lent, everybody.
for my guest host, Joe Slepsky.
You thought next week was the 12-inch show.
For my regular host, Rob Irizarry, and the honcho Mark Weber, I'm your host, Mike Irizarry. Be sure to join us next Tuesday at 9:05 here on the Superstation WOJM for another episode of the TeamStream, or as we like to call it, What's on Joe Mind. Have a great rest of the week. As our friend Vagon likes to say, stay safe, and if you can't, be careful. Yo, Joe.
Beer.
Wow.